I'm Zack Snyder.
And I'm Maine Matthews.
And welcome back to another YouTube podcast, the one-stop shop for anything and everything related to YouTube.
The hottest YouTube podcast on the internet.
The hottest. It really is. I mean, if you look at the list of YouTube podcasts out there, not only are we the hottest and the most hard-hittingness podcast in the YouTube atmosphere, but if you look at our profiles, we're still the hottest YouTube podcast.
I went with the word hottest because, like if I said the YouTube podcast with the most views or something, like, I'd be lying or whatever. But
absolutely.
The word hottest is so vague in what it actually means that, like, it would be up to your interpretation. Like, what do you mean by the hottest? And I could just get away with saying it. Because I mean, like, technically, I'm not wrong. I feel like we're the hottest, but, like, what does that mean? I don't know.
True. I mean, I feel like we're some pretty attractive dudes.
Yeah.
So, the past couple weeks have been interesting.
Yes.
We didn't get an episode out last week or the week before that, because life happened. But I feel like we both learned some very valuable lessons in the past couple weeks.
Sure.
In fact, I know that we both learned some very valuable lessons in the past couple weeks, including myself. The main one being, check the microphone when you unplug everything on your computer and reset everything up.
Kind of a valuable one, I feel.
Very valuable one. Always do an audio test, because if you don't, you might just record an entire 2.5 episode podcast that turns out really well and forget to record your microphone the entire thing.
It was tragic, dude.
Not speaking from personal, We
had a great 2-hour episode. Really good one. Like, one I was really proud of.
Yeah.
And then, like, we get it days later, and Zach's like, I forgot to record the audio. I'm like, Or mine was fine. It was just yours. So
yours was fine.
Right. If I wanted to, I could leave this podcast and let old Aden do all my stuff.
I almost thought about it. I was, like, very embarrassed. I was like,
Sure.
I can't believe that my dumbass did this. I'm like, I could just, go listen back to it and try to replicate as much as I can.
Right.
But then
it wouldn't have been as good.
It wouldn't have been as good. And I was like, if I spend 2.5 hours doing this, I might as well just re-record it with you.
Sure. And who knows? We might double our length this time. It might be 5 hours.
It might be a 5-hour podcast. So obviously, you guys know better than we do, because you're in the future. And we're in the past. But, we're the hottest podcast.
Yeah. Objectively. Objectively
speaking. So
no lying.
How was your week on YouTube, trademark, Aden?
Oh, he remembered.
I remember the trademark this time.
Right. He didn't remember on the first recording of this, so I'm a little bit impressed that he tried to make sure and get the trademark part down.
Part's important.
Very interesting stuff as far as I'm concerned. I've had a little bit of a quote-unquote calm before the storm going on with my channel, because Pokemon is the thing I like to do, right? I'm not going to call myself a quote-unquote
Poketuber, right?
Lying again. But nevertheless, Pokemon is a big thing on my channel. And so, the new Pokemon games, Ultra Sun and Moon, were coming out on November 17th, roughly, somewhere around that date. I don't know the exact date. So I had a couple of weeks to sort of wrap everything up before that came, and I was expecting, okay, we're going to finish a little bit of these series, we're going to do all sorts of fun stuff or whatever. Just kind of get out a couple of midnight vlogs, and then once the Pokemon games come out, just fucking go like ham.
Of course.
Things changed. Things changed. Life got in the way. Particularly an email got it out of the way, in which I received an email from good old Twitch.tv, who informed me that, hey, I'm an affiliate. And I thought, oh, hey, cool, Twitch affiliate. great. I want to make money on Twitch. This is a great thing. Yada, yada, yada.
Of course.
Do the little dumb contract. Sign here. Done. Right? Easy peasy. Easy peasy. Turns out there's a couple of stipulations with becoming a Twitch affiliate.
Mm-hmm.
Stipulations that I want to briefly go over.
Of course.
One of them being is that if you're not active on Twitch or don't get $100, either or,
Right.
You have to pay a $25 fee to reactivate your Twitch account. Not a big deal, personally. I can get the money, whatever. No big deal. Stipulation number 2 is that if I live stream something on Twitch, I cannot put it on YouTube until 24 hours after the fact. So I like to do live stream archives on my YouTube. I think it's a cool thing to do. Before, as soon as the Twitch stream was over, I could immediately put it on YouTube. But now, because I'm an affiliate, I have to wait at least 24 hours after the stream for me to go ahead and put it on YouTube.
Right.
But again, not a big deal because streams take forever to process. Normally, it would take me 24 hours to actually do that. The third stipulation is probably the biggest one out of all of them, and that's the one that states you cannot, if you choose to stream to Twitch, you cannot stream to other platforms at the same time. So let's say, oh hey, I wanted to stream Mario Odyssey, and I want to stream on Twitch. Well, because I made the decision to stream on Twitch, I can't also have it be streaming to Mixer and YouTube at the same time like I normally do. My normal streams involve Twitch, YouTube, and Mixer at the same time. Via a program called Restream. I don't know if we've ever talked about it on the podcast before, but if you're streaming and want to stream to multiple platforms, look up Restream. It's great. Anyway,
amazing, but yeah.
That was a big kicker because I'd been streaming to YouTube, Mixer, and Twitch for a long time now, and the fact that I can't do that because I'm an affiliate really kind of irked me the wrong way. And so after figuring out about these stipulations, I'm like, oh, I got to tell my fan base and all this sort of stuff and let them decide whether or not I should even be an affiliate in the first place, because those are the people that are going to get affected by it. The reaction was very mixed, and it was kind of a shit show, and it turned what would have been this calm before the storm into a mad dash to figure out what I'm even going to be doing streaming wise for the next several years. So needless to say, kind of a big week. Not really one that involved YouTube per se, but one that involved, in many ways
it still did.
Right. Just not directly, I would say. Well, indirectly. Aside from that whole fiasco, my birthday happened. I got a Switch. I worked on a top 10 home Pokemon video that I'm really proud of, sitting at about 26 views right now. I've streamed a good bit of Mario Odyssey. And
what has happened in the past 2 weeks?
Right, a lot. And lately, now that Ultra Sun and Moon are out, I'm live streaming it and Let's Playing it on my channel. So, a lot of stuff going on. I could probably get into more details, but that whole Twitch affiliate crisis is what made up most of it. And at the end of it, for those wanting to hear the short version, I did end up becoming an affiliate after a lot of arguing back and forth, multiple videos, people telling me stuff about it. I did end up eventually becoming an affiliate, but man, it took up a lot of time and energy that could have been spent, I don't know, finishing up Dark Souls, working on other vlogs, being productive,
being a quality YouTuber and consistent YouTuber. Yeah, I get that completely.
Stuff like that. But what do you think? What do you think about that whole deal?
Yeah, well, I mean, stuff happens, and with the Twitch affiliate thing, I think it's one of those things that we have to talk about every once in a while. Is that, obviously, if you're being a YouTuber and you're wanting to be successful with it, you're not just a YouTuber, you're a content creator. And in the current atmosphere where live streams are such a big part of the internet now, especially in the entertainment field, like, if you're not live streaming right now, you probably should be. And like,
especially if you're gaming.
Especially if you're gaming, absolutely.
Right.
And maybe I feel like we're going to do an entire episode on live streaming at some point.
Yeah.
I feel like it's that important. But, we live in the world now where that's such a prevalent part of the entertainment atmosphere now. And so your problem, while a very, valid one, is also a good problem to have.
It's a very good problem to have. It's a very first world type of deal that,
it is.
While Twitch affiliate is a new thing, a lot of people are getting it, and a lot of people are sort of for the first time experiencing what it's like to be a Twitch channel with subs. That's what being an affiliate is. You get you get opportunities for people to subscribe to you on Twitch. And basically what a subscription is on Twitch is they pay you $5 each month. You're subscribed. And in return, you get things like emojis, chat privileges, little stuff like that. But it's basically a money-making opportunity on Twitch. And the cool thing is, before affiliate, the only way you could get subscriptions was through partners. And in order to be a partner, it had a lot more strict requirements. But Twitch rolled out the affiliate program, and now a lot more people are experiencing a lot of those benefits. And potentially, if I do well as an affiliate, I can be a partner as well. So there's a lot of good. Don't worry. I didn't have a whole headache over being an affiliate just for the fun of it, right? Like there was there was some serious stuff going on there.
Yeah, for sure. I'm actually glad that I'm not as glad that we had to restart the podcast episode, but I am kind of glad that we're doing it tonight because as of yesterday, or at least in the last couple of weeks, I haven't been on Twitch as much because I'll get into my whole last couple of weeks spill in a bit, but they rolled out an achievement system for streamers. I don't know if you've seen that yet.
I have not actually. Go ahead.
Okay, so it looks like it's very new. They rolled out an achievement system for streamers now, and basically it works towards the affiliate program and the partner program. So I'll actually go there right now and go ahead and talk about it a little bit because I think it's important.
Sure.
So it starts off with a quest, if you will, called It Begins, and that just starts with your first stream. You're naming a game and a category, your stream title, and then looking at your dashboard. It basically gave me all those achievements tonight when I streamed, even though I'd been streaming for a little while now. And then it's got Path to Partner as your second quest. Your second quest is Path to Affiliate, and it actually has the list of achievements you would need in order to become an affiliate. So since I've already streamed for 8 hours in the last 30 days, I've already streamed for 7 unique days in the last 30 days, and I have 50 followers or more, I only need to reach 3 average viewers in the last month, in the last 30 days, which I'm close to getting. And then once I get that, then I can automatically be in a affiliate.
So what you're saying is get ready for the link spam of Zach's streams.
Exactly.
You got to reach that 3 viewers somehow.
A lot this week and the next week probably. And then they have the third quest, which is Path to Being a Partner, which surprisingly enough, I've already gotten almost the first 2 requirements. I just need that reaching 75 average viewers in the last 30 days, which is going to take a few months, if not a couple of years.
Right. That one's interesting to me about the Path to Partner one, because we've known about the affiliate requirements for a while now. As soon as it was rolled out, Twitch was like, you got to do this, this, and this. So those little things do not surprise me. Path to Partner is interesting because, like, there weren't really any, like, out there ways to do it. What you would have to do is literally email Twitch with an application. And you would have to be like, why do you deserve to be a partner? How many subs do you have? How many stats do you have? And Twitch has never said, like, oh, you have to have this much to be a partner. So the fact that, like, they're out in the open, straight up telling you, hey, if you want to be a partner, do this, is kind of cool. Even if it is through kind of like a very video gamey, kind of cringy achievement system. We don't know about partner, how to get to that until now, I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong.
You want to know what's, like, super amazing about this? The fact that there's another big website on the internet that hosts video that has not been so open about certain things, not naming any names, of course. And now Twitch is coming around, giving this information out.
Yeah, I really wish BitChute would get on to giving us that information.
BitChute, yeah.
That's the one we're referring to.
Totally, definitely not another YouTube. Excuse me.
Totally not a Google related.
not a Google related issue here.
No.
The other cool thing about Twitch recently is I feel like this is recent. I haven't seen this before, but they have stream summaries now.
Ooh.
So you can look at each individual stream, see how long it lasted, your average viewers, your max viewers, any new followers, what your peak time was, how many people were chatting in the chat, and then your total views. And it's even got plus and minuses and the green red arrows to say whether you've gone up or gone down from your previous stream. And you can also see where people came from to get to your stream, whether it was from followers or browsing page or, you know, another thing like Discord or something. So that's really cool that they're giving more information here in terms of analytics, because
exactly,
that shit's important.
I know the Twitch mobile app's been updating pretty good too. Like you can stream from your phone on Twitch now, I'm pretty sure.
Really? That's cool.
And I wonder if a lot of those same achievement systems are going to move over there. Like, we could potentially have Twitch partners that solely stream from their phone.
That's crazy.
Wouldn't that be weird? Like real life streams just on Twitch from people using their phone who just become big right now. What I want to ask you, though, is do you think that this update is simply a quality of life update that just sort of targets the people who already love Twitch and who are already working hard? Or do you think that this is a timed move when YouTube is kind of at its shittiest, and how the complaints about YouTube have been, oh, they don't give enough information, what's going on, or I want to reach a certain point, how do I get to that? And live streaming's becoming bigger and bigger. Do you think Amazon and Twitch like time that shit out to where they're like, oh, you don't like YouTube not giving you information? YouTube's kind of our biggest competitor right now in terms of like video and entertainment and shit. What if we were to just, I don't know.
Yeah.
But do you think it's intentional? That's what I want to know.
I think if it's not intentional, it's a really good unintentional move.
It's a really good coincidence.
Yeah. Well, because like, okay, there definitely is some quality of life shit going on, because not only is it getting better for the streamer, but as far as the mobile app, the viewers are getting a lot out of it. I noticed recently that I can listen to streams without my phone being, without the screen being turned on, which you have to pay YouTube to do for YouTube Red. So the fact that that's an option now, I really do think most of it is the fact that Twitch is kind of realized, especially since YouTube has streaming, as a big part of its users now. They've got the super chat. If you have 1,000 subscribers, you get donations. You can get subscribers on there now. They basically have their version of the Twitch partner program now. Yeah. And I think Twitch kind of looked at it and was like, okay, we've actually got real competition now. Not to mention the fact that so many people are upset about YouTube.
Exactly.
So let's put a little bit of extra work into it.
For me, when I hear you talk about those updates, like, to me, it sounds like a lot of them benefit the first-time streamer, right? Affiliates are perfect for people who want to get into streaming. Having partnership requirements are great for people who want to get into streaming. Like, these things don't help the people who are already partners, who are already Twitch celebrities, right?
That's true.
These are specifically targeting people who have thought about streaming but haven't really been giving it a push, or people who are just sort of kind of streaming who want to know how to take it to the next level. Like you and me, who've been doing it for like a year or so or some shit like that. To me, that sounds very much like, oh, sick of YouTube? Well, we're going to make it better to be someone new on Twitch. Which YouTube like feels like it's getting worse and worse to start out new on. Like becoming a new YouTuber is like a shit show. So Twitch is like, what if we just make like the first opening months on Twitch like the best shit ever? And that way, like when people get sick of YouTube and migrate over to Twitch, they're going to have a really pleasant first time. A lot of that's conspiracy theory, conjecture, and shit, but you can't tell me Twitch isn't researching YouTube and their live streaming and their video platforming and thinking like, oh, I want a piece of that pie. I mean, it's owned by Amazon. Amazon and Google like duke it out all the time. They're paying attention.
Yeah, not to mention the fact that Amazon is smart as hell, and they're going to be making a crap ton more money in the future.
Right.
Like, I mean, they're one of the biggest companies on the earth, on Earth right now.
I feel like the only people who are going to get mad at these updates are the people who've been doing it since the very beginning, for me.
Yeah, well, okay, so here's the thing. A little bit of YouTube history. Back in 2012, YouTube opened up the partner program to everybody on the website. So 2012 was really that new, fresh YouTube atmosphere where newer people could actually do something with it, supposedly, if they, it was more of an incentive then. And
was that PewDiePie's first year? Didn't he come out like 2011, 2012?
Yeah.
I mean,
PewDiePie, Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, a lot of those guys started around that time. That was when
Game Grumps, I think, was 2012.
That was when the big Let's Play movement kind of happened, and a lot of people got big on that. That was also when they moved to watch time.
I remember I got a lot more excited about my YouTube possibilities around that time. Like, I didn't capitalize on it, of course.
Oh, that's when I had started around 2011, but I didn't capitalize it as much as I could have.
But it was a great thing. We're like, oh, it's a great time to be a YouTuber.
Right, because I remember the transition from I can't make no money on this website at all. I can't even have a custom background on my channel to, oh shit, YouTube cares about the little guys and we can actually do something now.
Mm-hmm. And of course, you got to mention that it brought out a lot of shit too. Like a lot of assholes kind of showed up at around that time too.
Oh, absolutely.
Your prank channels, your reactors.
Yeah.
People who were like, ooh, a quick buck? Hell yeah.
But then, like, there was already also a lot of shit back then too because of clickbaiting. Because with, not watch time, but with likes being so prevalent, not likes, views being so prevalent, you had a lot of clickbaiters back in that day.
Sure. Because
a lot of them just kind of wanted to, put some boobs on the thumbnail to get 1 million views for not doing a single thing with their life.
Right.
But what's interesting is now in 2017, YouTube was like, oh, well, I guess this was kind of a mistake. Let's reel it back in. You have to have 100 subscribers and 10,000 views or something like that I think it's 10,000 views specifically to get the partner program now. Mm-hmm. And even then, if you get that 10,000 views, they're going to take a look at your channel and double check, make sure you're not like a shitty channel.
Right. And for those who are already partnered, you weren't put back or anything. So if you had less views than that, because I remember I had less than 10,000.
Right.
And shit like that. I was going through a similar shitty situation though, of why I couldn't monetize anything. And I thought it was because of that 10,000 view rule, but it had to do with Google being an asshole. But yeah, Worldwide Meme, if I had made Ethan's channel a couple of months ago and had just put out a couple of videos and partnered it, imagine how ahead of the game we would be on that if we didn't have to be oh, now I got to get Ethan's channel to 100 views. Now I got to have all this other shit. It's a little bit harder to get to, but I think it's a fair goal.
A little bit. I think it's a very fair goal, and it still doesn't hinder your channel as much. It just doesn't let you make money, which, let's be honest, if you're not getting 10,000 views, you're not making money in the first place. Right. I mean, I'm not making money from YouTube yet, theoretically, yes, but nah.
Not really.
Not really.
The Sabijan Games videos aren't paying the bills.
I get a Mountain Dew a month, basically. Get a Mountain Dew a month from YouTube, and that's it. So
you think there's a 12-year-old kid listening to this podcast who's like, "One Mountain Dew a month? Hell yeah!"
My mom only lets me drink water all the time. Yo, that would have been me. I would have been I can get $2.50. It's more than my allowance.
Right. I could buy a fidget spinner with that money. Dude,
hell yeah.
I can get a fidget spinner market. Thanks, YouTube.
Thanks, YouTube. I got to do a little, okay. Video
I want to find somebody.
Video idea.
I want to find somebody who is so naive. Not that they want to be YouTube famous, but I want to find a kid who's just surprised at the fact that they can make $2.50 and thinks that's incredible. I want to find that kid. It's yo, you can make $2 off of YouTube, dude? I don't think they exist, but I want to find that kid.
I need to talk to you about this video idea after the podcast.
Yeah.
It'll be good. I guess, long story short...
big tangent there.
Big tangent, but important. I think most of it was important, at least.
Sure.
The fact is that, if you're not live streaming yet, obviously you should be. We've talked about it a couple times in the past, but Twitch is definitely somewhere you should be looking. And I do advise, as I'm sure Aden does, use Restream. Stream on multiple platforms at once, because when you're working on that Twitch follower goal and those Twitch stream goals to become an affiliate, before you have to make the choice to become exclusively Twitch, you can still be working towards your subscriber goal and your watch time on YouTube and all that kind of stuff.
Speaking of other hypotheticals, This is very new because I haven't seen any of this achievement stuff at all and all these recent updates, I think.
Right. I think it's literally yesterday.
So hypothetically speaking, we had talked about you guys getting into live streaming on like the first couple episodes, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about this before about how you should be doing live streaming. So hypothetically, there's someone out there who took our advice and is now ahead of the game to where he's an affiliate now because he took our advice from episode 1. Like, enough time has passed to where
yeah, for sure,
people who watched our first episode and took our advice on the whole live streaming thing are now probably an affiliate and are halfway to becoming a partner.
Yeah, no, I could see that for sure.
And they're in a better position than a lot of you guys who are going to be, who are just now hearing this news and haven't taken Twitch seriously. You know, that guy, that guy believed us immediately in the first episode, and now he's in a way better spot.
Yeah.
So that's another cool hypothetical. I don't know if that one exists either, but that'd be cool.
Because, like, here's the thing, right? Let's say you've wanted to be a YouTuber. You didn't really know about live streaming as much. You didn't really care for it. You weren't really sure that it was your thing. But you realized that you started some YouTube videos and you're not getting views like you wanted. You're not getting, you know, the basically the results that you wanted. Mm-hmm. Well, like live streaming, especially if you're good at, here's what you got to do to be a good live streamer, right? You got to be able to be decent at commentary. And I say decent because there are a lot of bigger live streamers that aren't great at it. Mm-hmm. And some of them that aren't even that good at it, but you got to be decent at it. And you got to be able to like pay attention to your chat.
Sure.
And then the rest of it is just playing the right game to get like seen. Mm-hmm. So literally, if you're in like high school and this is like your thing, you want to play video games, you want to somehow make money from it, especially if you want to play video games, instead of going straight to YouTube and doing Let's Plays and stuff, which are very hard to get seen, live streaming on Twitch is a very viable option. Basically, go home from school or get home from school Monday through Friday, stream for like 2 hours before you have to do your homework. Mm-hmm. Or after you do your homework, whatever. Then, you know, Saturday and Sunday, stream for 5 hours or something, as long as your parents let you. And in the matter of a couple of months, even less maybe, you could, like, if you go hardcore into streaming on Twitch, there's no doubt that as long as you show up to work, like, you're going to be able to get the affiliate, you know, partnership.
If you're a freshman in high school or whatever, and you start streaming, even if they're, like, really shitty, by the time you were a senior, you would have all the requirements to be an affiliate or a partner, but you couldn't have signed the legal paperwork until you're 18. But here's the thing. Every other requirement you can fill out. In the span of 4 years in high school, you'll not only have really good streams, but you'll probably fill out everything. And then when you just turn 18, you sign the legal shit, and then you're good to go, dude. Like, here's the thing.
Not only that.
Go ahead.
Not only that, if it's the fact that you're not 18 working against you and you're not able to make that money yet, here's the thing. You build up that audience. You have people that come in to watch you all the time because you have to get that audience in order to get that, you know, those partnerships. You build up that audience, it gets higher than a regular partnership would recommend. Like, you're able to use that audience for some kind of leverage. They're going to your YouTube channel now. If you have one of those, they're buying your merch. They're giving you donations anyways. So, yeah, if you got 4 years to make it work while you're in high school, dude, do it.
Exactly. I think it's a lot easier to run than a YouTube channel. To wrap it up, though, you may be thinking, Aiden, Zach, what's the point? This is another YouTube podcast.
Yeah.
Sorry to mess on that mindset, but unfortunately, that's not the case. Really, our podcast should be called like another content creation podcast, but that doesn't have as sexy as a name or a jingle. But my point is this. Getting into YouTube, you should not be thinking to yourself that by me following all these tips and putting in all this work, that one day I'm going to be a famous YouTuber. Because the problem with that line of thinking is that if something comes along and you've gained enough skills, like let's say live streaming comes along, and you find out that you're really good at it, or a new social media platform that comes out and you find that you're really good at it, and using your skills through YouTube, you can now make a success on another platform. Take that opportunity. Very much take that opportunity. The thing is, life is going to throw so many curveballs at you. And even if you think that, oh, I'm going to start YouTube and be a YouTuber, life may throw you a different direction, and you could be successful on a social media platform that might not even be out yet. Mm-hmm. And then you might be saying, well, why even do YouTube at all? Because you're building that skill set. You're learning how to stay consistent. You're learning SEO. You're learning how to edit videos, thumbnails, engaging with an audience, all this sort of stuff. You know, you can't, like, both me and Zach, we like YouTube a lot. And obviously it's a platform that we're very passionate on. But you can't tell me if, like, me or Zach were offered, like, a contract or a partnership to make money on another social media thing, doing the same thing we do now, we would take that opportunity, right? Like, we like YouTube, but, like, you know, money is money and success is success. So you don't have to be loyal to a platform in order to get good things out of it. So that's why a lot of our tips and a lot of our topics and a lot of our stuff are broad enough to where, like, you can use some of this advice on Twitch or Twitter or anything else like that, because we have that mindset going in, is that this is about content creation. These are about people who want to get into entertainment. These are about people who want to learn about, like, the internet and how to make money off of it, and, you know, just live a decent life on it and not be an asshole in some cases.
Right.
But, you know, all the stuff we talk about, it doesn't just encompass YouTube. And sometimes we are going to get in those tangents where we talk about things like Twitch or BitChute or Anchor or anything else. You know, don't feel bad. Don't feel like, oh, why aren't they not talking about YouTube? A lot of this stuff applies to all sorts of different things. And you need to keep your mindset open, and you need to keep your opportunities always open to new things, because you never know where life is going to lead you. So
Absolutely.
that's my piece on that.
Yeah, and remember, just like he said, if some other social media site or something like that offered us money tomorrow to do the same thing we'd be doing on YouTube, don't think of that as a sellout, because it's definitely not. Think of it as we would be doing the exact same thing. It's literally just a different website.
Right.
So that's, you know, that's important to keep in mind, that it is all about the content creation. It's nothing about the platform. The platform is just a vehicle for us to get our content to you.
Exactly. But if you can't drive the vehicle, like, you're screwed. We're teaching you how to drive the vehicle, not how to, like, run a Honda Civic. You know, we're not going to tell you, like, reviews about Toyota Camrys or anything like that. We're teaching you how to be the driver of your content creation machine. Because if you learn how to drive one car, you can drive multiple cars, right? And there's a couple of differences here and there, but for the most part, the process is the same. So be on the lookout for weird tangents like that. It didn't probably need to be that long, but I felt like there was a good little bit of bonus value. That's how I'm going to call it.
Some good stuff there. That could have been an extra-sode, but, you know, it's all good. Sure. Like, here we are.
It's all good, man. But Zach, how was your week on actual YouTube?
Oh, man, my week on YouTube, TM, trademark. Last 2 weeks, really, have been quite interesting. I've been in positions where the uploads have been frequent, and then I've been in positions where the uploads have not been frequent at all.
Right.
And it's been an interesting dynamic, because through both I learned some very valuable things. So one of those is I definitely do need to get my uploads back up on a regular basis every single day on both channels, because one thing that I've learned, or that we've kind of known about, and I just haven't really thought about it as much as I have lately, is that what's one thing that's very important to the YouTube algorithm? Hashtag watch time. So how do you get more watch time, basically, is what it comes down to. And I was thinking about different ways to get more watch time, and, you know, trying to figure out what's the best way to hack the algorithm. And after I'd heard somebody talk about this just a little bit, I was like, it makes so much sense now. How do you get more watch time? You upload more videos, dumbass.
That's a short answer.
That's the short answer. Because here's the thing, right? Obviously, it makes sense. Stay consistent. Keep uploading more videos. The more you upload, the more people will watch. The more chances you get for people to check out your stuff, which is always great. But then the short-term effects on it are also super great, because if you have those, even if it's like 2 to 5 people that come to your channel to watch everything you put out, because some people will do that. Some people are your mega fans, as Aden likes to call it, and they'll watch everything you put out. And it makes
no matter
no
how bad.
sense. Because I've talked to some of these people and I'm like, why do you watch, like, what do you specifically want to see from me, right? Because I'm trying to like figure out what can I cut out, what should I keep, all that kind of stuff. And these people will be like, oh, I watch everything you put out. I'm like, why?
Right.
I know some of this stuff doesn't bring you value.
You'll ask like a small group of friends and they'll all give you a different answer. Some people will like vlogs, some people will like let's plays, some people will like your highly produced stuff. And right, you can't just cut one of them out.
Right, you can't.
But what you can do is provide more content to them, and everybody wins that way.
Exactly.
You have to work more that way, but everybody
just got to work more, which isn't a bad thing.
Everybody wins
in the long term. It's a great thing in the long term. Just work more. You want to see results? Work harder, dumbass.
Work harder. The analogy I gave during the first recording of this was, it's sort of like a baseball player. And each video you put out is another chance at bat, pretty much. You know, a video going viral in this analogy would be like a home run. You know, the video that gets you to quote unquote stardom or YouTube famousness or whatever you want to call it. That's the home run in this analogy. Here's the thing. If you only put out a couple of videos, you're only going to have a couple of chances at bat, correct? And the thing is like, sure, one of them might do super well. But what if it doesn't? Well, then you've spent all your time only making a couple of videos, and then, you know, you feel like, why am I not getting any success? But here's the thing. If you're putting out multiple videos and you're getting multiple chances at bat, well, mathematically, you're going to have a better chance to get a home run. You know? You're going to have a better chance to do well just simply based on the fact that you're literally trying more and giving multiple chances for you to be discovered, whether it's on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, or whatever. And here's the thing about that. You have to try, you know?
yeah. It can't be just a bunch of shit you're throwing at the wall.
If you just post a garbage video every day, then you're not going to go anywhere. The same way as if you just bunt the ball every time, you're probably not going to get any success or a home run or anything like that. So you still have to try and you still have to put effort. But you want to get as many effort-filled chances as possible. And by uploading more videos, you get that. It works in baseball, it works in YouTube, and maybe works in some other sport that I've never heard of before.
Right, for sure. 100%. But now here's the other thing, right? So you have that at bat more often. You get more chances to potentially get home runs. So if you make 1 million videos in the next 10 years, like you're gonna get somewhere because 1 million videos is substantially more than anybody else on the platform is doing. Right. So obviously hyperbole can't, not exactly possible unless you're Watch Mojo and you have like 1,000 people working for you. I don't know. Sure. Those logistics aside, the other thing is if you look at your super fans, the people that watch everything you put out, or even like the people that watch one video every couple of uploads or one video even every 5 uploads. The thing is, the more you're uploading, the more chances these people are going to watch, which means you're guaranteed watch time. You are 100%. Absolutely 100% guaranteed to get some kind of watch time out of it. A video might only get 10 views, but if 5 of the people that watch the entire thing and it was a 2-hour podcast,
sure,
you just got 10 hours of watch time for that day, and then your watch time goes up. And again, YouTube idolizes watch time. So as long as you're consistently seeing that green arrow, not the comic book character, as long as you're consistently seeing the green arrow go up, saying that your watch time is better this week than it was last week, or this month than it was last week or last month, then you're going to consistently start getting your videos ranking better in tags. They're going to be seen more, and you're going to get more views and more subscribers as a result of it.
Sure. And for baseball, back to the analogy on that, even if you don't get a home run or anything like that, your stats still go up, right? Exactly. Your resume's built up more. If YouTube doesn't work out, you still have 1,000 great videos to show to potentially get a job somewhere else. Correct?
Right.
Like
exactly.
It's never useless. It's never something that's just not fruitful at all, and there's no good to come from it, because there always is good to come from hard work. Maybe it won't work out on YouTube, but it could potentially work out, like we mentioned earlier, somewhere else or anything to the like. So Oh, and real quickly, I saw this happen firsthand. Both the channel that me and Zach watch, Scott the Waz, right? Like, this is a guy who's been making videos for a long time and recently started a channel, about a year and a half, a year or so, roughly. Puts out great videos every week. Nobody watched him. Like, hardly anyone at all. He has a small fan base, right? Nothing much. But each and every week he would put out another great video, another great video, another great video, and was really consistent with it. Until finally, one video comes along, he gets one shout out, and now all of a sudden he's got a bunch of people there. But because he already had gotten a body of work, and because he had already put himself into a pattern of putting out great stuff, he's now able to capitalize on that success and potentially get bigger and bigger. And oh boy, his numbers went up. Do you know the exact ones?
Yeah, about a month ago, about a month and a half ago at this point now, he had under 1,000 subscribers. Now, only a month later, because this is the numbers a couple weeks ago as well, he has 51,000 subscribers. He went up 50,000 subscribers in the matter of a couple of weeks because one guy, one single view gave him a shout out, and it worked for him.
Sure. And that's the thing, like, he hit a home run. But in the same way, he had hit 30 or so other at-bats that went nowhere. That were great videos that just weren't seen anywhere. So, you know, here's the thing. As long as you're putting out great work and you're doing it consistently, you're going to get noticed eventually. The thing is, and what separates Scott from other channels is when the going got rough and when things weren't going his direction, he didn't up and quit. He didn't slow down production. He didn't do any of this other stuff. He continued and continued to get better. So that when the shout out did come along, you know, he didn't have to change anything.
He didn't.
He just kept putting out his great work.
Yeah, it was already quality. So
right.
And it's,
you know?
Yeah.
So that's what impresses me about that example in particular.
Cool. Yeah. Another quick example I saw this week, just because it's so recent to me and I think it's important. There's a guy that I have been friends with for going on 6 years now. He started around the same time that I started, did a Let's Play channel, mostly old adventure type games. And he got his subscriber rating up to, actually it's quite funny, he got a shout out on Screw Attack, the website one day. And his subscribers, because of that and a couple of videos that ranked really, really well in tags for some Flash games, he got up to like 15,000 subscribers in the matter of a few years. Recently, over the past couple of years, he's been seeing a drop in views. The new YouTube algorithms didn't do too well with certain things, yada, yada, yada. But the crazy thing is, about 2 months ago, he had to restart his channel. Had some problems with his employment. He's a school teacher. Kids were looking at some of his videos. He did some not so appropriate for children games. Just didn't want to get into any kind of trouble there. So he starts a new channel. And out of nowhere, about 2-3 days ago, the Game Grumps post a Let's Play video on an old adventure game that was like for DOS system, or I don't even know exactly what the game is about or anything like that. But they posted a video. It was the finale of their series, and they realized they got the bad ending. So they decide, oh, well, this is our video. We can do whatever we want. Let me go look up on YouTube for the good ending. Well, they couldn't find anybody that had just posted the good ending without commentary. But the highest ranking video with the title, The Good Ending, in the title of the video was this guy's video. And it was the only one they could find. And so they watched part of his video in the channel, and now he's got like 700 subscribers, and I have a feeling it's going to go up even more in the next few days. Yeah. But I mean, he just started the new channel about a month ago, got a shout out. It was one view, turns into many.
Exactly. And the thing is like with both of those people, they don't expect it. They don't beg for it. They don't post in other people's channels asking sub for sub or other dumb shit, right? It came as a reward of hard work and patience. And sure, you can argue all day and night, oh, that was lucky, he got lucky here, he got lucky there, I wish I could get so lucky, whatever. Here's the thing. Luck has nothing to do with whether or not you stay relevant. And so just because these two people got lucky, the work doesn't stop for them. And they will have to fight day in and day out to stay relevant and to keep the subs they got. You know, you can call it luck whether or not you get a shout out, but if anything, it increases harder. Your workload.
Yeah. I mean, I hate to like belabor this, but I feel like we got some good stuff going here. One of the biggest guys on the platform right now, especially in terms of gaming, is Jacksepticeye. Sure. If you want to talk about people that got a massive shout out, this man got a massive shout out from PewDiePie. And maybe we've mentioned it once on the podcast before.
I was about to say it. Have we told this story before?
Maybe.
We might have.
I don't remember, but long story short, yeah, sorry if we have, but I still think it's super important, and I think it kind of comes up with this, this point of remaining consistent, working hard, getting better at what you're doing, and then that watch time thing that I was talking about a few minutes ago. Sure. But PewDiePie gives him a shout out. And instead of, just being like, thank you for all the new subscribers, which, I mean, this guy got thousands and thousands of subscribers in the matter of a couple of nights, he continued to work more and more and more on his channel. And now he's at one of the highest subscribed channels on YouTube. He's got like 16 million or something like that.
Sure.
So, I mean, it just goes to show you what the hard work will do.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So keep consistent, keep driving. If you feel like there's some weeks where, man, shit really isn't going anywhere, you can picture in your head, if you really want to, if it'll help you get through the night, think about what it's going to be like when you get to that number, when you get to that goal, when you get to that point, and how great you're going to feel for sticking with it, and how great you're going to feel for being like, man, I'm glad I saw this through, and man, I'm glad I continued to follow that work, and man, I'm glad I took Zach's advice on another YouTube podcast, episode 7 or whatever. Like, think about that. Think about that if that helps you get through the night. And if it really is too big of a deal for you, well then, kind of maybe get some other hobby. Figure some other stuff out. It's okay. Right. You can still listen to the podcast though. I mean, sure. We'll appreciate you.
Appreciate that watch time.
But a great week on YouTube for you. An interesting.
Yeah. Well, there was another thing too that I realized. Another lesson that I learned.
Sure.
Which was, I need to upload more content, but I'm stuck on some videos that are taking a little bit longer, and life just got in the way. And oops, I can't upload as many videos this week as I thought I was going to do. So, me trying to figure out, well, how do I get more views? How do I get more watch time to keep that momentum going? Because it's been pretty good over the last few months. I was like, okay, what do I do here? And I just figured the last few videos that I made, I'm going to go try to do some marketing. So I hit up Reddit, hit up some Discord groups, hit up some Facebook groups, and got my highest viewed video on the Zack Snyder Productions channel, which was a video that I made on a whim at 9:00 in the morning.
Sure. The one he's referring to is the Sonic one.
The Sonic video, yeah. Yeah,
it's so polarizing.
It's why is Sonic...
Dab.
Yeah, there's a dab on the thumbnail, which may or may not have gotten it more views. I don't know.
Sure.
That's some consumer behavior I can't really figure out yet.
Right. Why is the dab so appealing?
Why is the dab so appealing? Is a great question.
Part of the millennial vernacular.
I guess long story short, I woke up one morning, had an idea in the shower, decided instead of just putting this video on hold like I do with most videos, I'm going to go ahead and make the video that day. Didn't have classes that day, so I figured I've got a few hours I can just kill to make that video. Worked on it for about 5-6 hours, and then uploaded it, and then put it in the right places, showed it to the right people, and now it's got over 100 views. And I think it got that 100 views in the matter of just a couple of days, which, isn't great numbers, but it's better than anything else on the channel. So, And then the last couple of movie recaps, I've been trying to share them in certain places. And on days that I realized on days that I can't upload videos, I'm just going to spend like 15, 20 minutes at most and just market certain videos just so that I can try to get some of that watch time anyways. Because if there's any number I want to see go up, it's that number.
You're not wasting your time. You're using your time more effectively. It's time management.
It's time management. All of this really comes down to time management. If you really think
I've thought about it before, and like the first person, if Blue Couch Productions gets big enough to where I can hire somebody, the first person I'm going to hire, it's not going to be an editor. It's not going to be like a co-commentator or anything like that. It's not even going to be a social media guy. It's going to be a marketer. It is 100% going to be a marketer. Because, dear God, do I not know how to sell my own stuff? You know?
It's hard.
Not an entrepreneur. Not the type of guy who's like, look at what thing I made. Please watch it. Right? Because I feel bad doing it. And I feel cringy doing it. And I'm sure all the marketers listen to this are like, no, it's not. It's not cringy at all. You need to do that. You know, it's kind of important. And it is. And I have to do my own marketing sometimes. And it's not fun at all. That would be the first person I would hire.
That's smart. And you know, like marketing is definitely not my strong suit, and I definitely don't like it as much as I do editing, right? But I can tolerate it, like I'm cool with like going to some new groups and talking to some new people and trying to find the right places to put stuff. And it's not the end of the world for me. But what's smart about what you just said is that you realize that's not your strength. So instead of like spending time learning it, or at least, you know, instead of trying to spend more time learning it when you don't need to, you can just hire somebody to do it at a certain point. Like that's something that we've all got to realize as content creators, is that maybe selling your stuff is not your strong suit. Maybe you need to get somebody else to do that for you, because you would be much better able to, you'd be much better spending your time doing, I don't know, the content creation side of things rather than marketing your stuff.
Exactly. I'm much more of a creative person. I hate numbers. I hate math. I hate having to do manual shit like that where I'm having to, you know, get it out to forums and things because I don't know where to post. I don't know if I'm like intruding on people. I feel bad when I do it. You know, having a guy to be there to be like, oh, I don't care about sharing your shit. You pay me enough money, I'll do it. I'm like, sure. Right? If you're a numbers person, if you're a math person, if you know how to do that, if that's your career, you do good enough work, I'll pay for you and probably keep you for a long ass time because you're invaluable to me. Like, I can't do that shit at all. And then after the marketer, I'd probably hire an audio engineer. That'd be my number 2.
Now, this is something that's happened in the last couple of weeks too. I recently figured out my audio situation and made my audio better.
Ooh.
So crazy. I'm excited about that.
Sure.
I took a little bit of time, a couple YouTube tutorials later. It's good. It's good stuff.
And to be fair, I do really appreciate the value of learning a lot of that stuff yourself. In fact, I've done a lot of that for editing and creative craft. But I do not have enough time in the world to learn all the in or outs of marketing and shit like that.
Fair.
Yo, idea. I don't like college, right? What if I change my major to marketing and then secretly on the side, you know, I hate college. I can get some marketing knowledge. I'd be literally doing college out of spite. Right.
Yeah, for real. There you go.
It's an idea, though.
It's a smart little idea. If you decide you want to keep going for it, just that's what you do, man.
Great tangent, though. Marketing. Another great tangent.
Great tangent.
I
almost wonder, because we've still got like a lot to talk about with comments and stuff. I almost wonder if this is a Your Week on YouTube and Comments episode. Like,
ooh, that's
we're about an hour into the episode now.
That's interesting. Well, I think we did spend a lot of time on it in the first recording of this, though.
Yeah, not
because I know we did a lot of dumb tangent shit, but I feel like these tangents were much more valuable.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm almost happy that we had that fuck up.
Yeah,
almost. No,
I don't know though.
This is good.
I feel like we could. I mean, I still want to talk about our topic, but that's me.
Yeah,
I want this to be the 5-hour episode. That's the goal.
5-hour episode is your goal.
Yeah, that's the prediction.
There you go.
Exactly.
We don't plan things here on another YouTube podcast.
We don't. And if you want to help us plan things, you can just give us topics, and that would save us time. So, boy, would it save us time.
But yeah, we already have a live streaming episode planned, a marketing one. We're good to go.
Marketing, yeah. We're going to have to get somebody to help us with that one.
If you're a marketer, hit us up.
But I guess overall, to like end off the whole Your Week on YouTube thing, I feel like we both got a lot out of this week for different reasons. You on the community aspect of thing, which is a nice little segue into the next section. And then for myself, just kind of consistency in multiple different ways, and then a little bit of marketing here, and just a variety of things, which is what's really nice about this. I'll say career loosely right now because it's still working on making it into a career. Yeah, for real. Either way, it's
never a dull moment.
It's never dull. Every week you might be going into a week and it could be boring. And some weeks are like that, and then other weeks, boy, you get hit with some people on your channel not wanting you to be a Twitch affiliate because they don't have good internet.
Well, there's a lot of other things.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Stuff that I don't want to get into because of time.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
But yeah, that was our marathon on YouTube trademark.
Marathon on YouTube. Exactly. Oh, man.
Tune in next week where we're going to talk about our month on YouTube.
Our month on YouTube because, consistency was our last episode and we didn't learn ourselves.
Clearly, yeah.
Clearly.
But what is our topic?
Topic. So, I briefly mentioned it. We're going to be talking about community. We forgot to mention it at the beginning of the episode, but it's fine. They saw by the thumbnail and the title, unless they just downloaded it blindly on iTunes or Google Play, which you all should do.
Yeah. Do you think there's someone who clicked on this episode really needing community info and then realized the first hour of this was just us talking about YouTube and like, what the fuck, dude?
Oh, man.
I want my shit.
I don't care about Twitch. I really need some community info. So we're going to be talking about how important community is on YouTube.
Right.
And in general as a content creator, because that community does transcend YouTube when done right. And different ways you can kind of make a community, manage the community, all that good stuff.
Yeah. We're going to be talking about the fans.
Exactly. The fans, if you will. I hate using that word. Can I just briefly mention? I hate calling people my fans because it's so weird. It's like I don't think I'm deserving of it.
Right. It feels like the ultimate of first world problems. That's what this whole podcast topic is going to be.
We might as well call this the first world problem YouTube podcast.
Exactly. Are you too successful on
Starbucks? Right. And I'm not about Starbucks, so I'm not as.
This episode's only for the super successful people who have communities.
Yeah, apparently. I don't like
using
the term fans.
If you are super successful, shout out our podcast.
Exactly.
Yeah, do that.
Well, to kind of like bring it in, the reason I don't like using the word fans is because I don't want some like 13-year-old prick who thinks he deserves everything to like call every single person that watches his video a fan of his.
Sure.
Because it's, because what you're really doing is like, yes, you may gain some fans along the way, but at the beginning, it's all about creating a community.
Sure. Right.
So.
Exactly.
I don't know. Maybe that's a little weird, but overall, I think it's valuable.
A little bit of a fun. But yeah, community management. When I think about the term, mainly, it's basically about managing the people who watch you. I'm not going to use the dirty F word. I'm not going to use that word here because Zach hates it so much. But it's about managing.
That's fine. You can say fans.
It's about managing the people who watch your content and being sure that the relationship you have with your fans is not only healthy, but that you're providing value to your fans and the fans are doing the same on over, right? A lot of
Right.
people, when they think, you know, content creator and fan relationships, they think, oh, well, the content creator has 100% of the power and the leverage, and the fans have 0%. That's not true. Not true at all. In
Not
fact,
at
I
all.
would argue that, like, at the least, it's 50-50. You have
Right.
50% creative control over what you want to do, and then the other 50% is, will fans actually watch it or care about it, and how will they react, and all this other stuff. And then in some cases, you know, the fans can have upwards of like 80% of control just based off, like, you know, those YouTube channels who always ask, like, what video should I do next? Or you decide, or stuff like that. Channels that are so reliant on fan content to even, like, get anything out. And in those instances, you know, the fans have a much bigger percentage of leverage in terms of how your channel is run. So what we're going to talk about in this episode is just sort of how to make sure that that relationship is healthy, how to strike a balance, how to deal with the negative side of things as well as the positive side of things.
That's true.
Issues you might come across, and stuff like that, basically.
Yeah. I think right off the bat, I think I prefer to try to have it a 51-49 kind of leverage, 51 on the audience side of things, and then 49 on my side of things. I think leaving the audience with a little bit more leverage overall, I think is going to benefit in such a long-term way.
Right.
And I haven't really thought about this before. I've heard Gary Vaynerchuk, which if you haven't watched him, you should. I've probably said that a couple times already on the podcast, but I think I've heard him. I've definitely heard him talk about 51-49 in terms of consumer or like customer to business owner point of views, things like that, and even like partnerships with people, relationships and stuff. But I think even with consumers in terms of watching videos, I think giving your audience just a little bit more leverage than you gives you the opportunity to, in the long run, make sure you're providing enough value to the people that are watching you, which is obviously going to be helping you. It's all ROI positive in that instance.
Exactly. I want to dismiss the notion that community management is a waste of time, because it most certainly isn't.
Absolutely.
Community management is what's going to keep your channel alive, both in the short term and the long term, I would argue. Yeah. In the short term of not having everybody leave your channel, and then the long term, continuing to grow a fan base and leave your legacy behind. Those are the people that are responsible, like, after you're dead, you know? Are you going to be able to make an impact on them? Are people going to remember you after you're gone? Stuff like that. And by building a good relationship, you're in turn building your legacy, building what people will remember you by. And in turn, you're also building value with people in relationships. You know, as a content creator, the content that you provide to your fans or viewers in this case, it's providing value to them, whether it's an informational video and like how to make a hot dog, right? And whoever watches that video is like, man, now I know how to make a hot dog. Thanks, YouTube channel. That's value.
Exactly.
And then, like, let's say you're doing a Let's Play and you make somebody laugh. Well, that's value too, because that's entertainment, you know? And over the course of doing multiple videos and having people having yourself gain a following, you know, the value is being built up there. And you're impacting people's lives in some cases. You hear it all the time about like how popular YouTubers like Markiplier and PewDiePie or whatever and Game Grumps get all these letters all the time from plenty of depressed people who have gone like to the brink, you know, and have considered suicide, and how many people they've turned around and impacted just by a stupid little gameplay video on Mario 2, right?
Yeah.
Things that in no way, shape, or form would sound like that they would bring anybody value are the things that people will remember you for, and are the people who make it all worth it, really, you know?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, without fans, without viewers, you know, there really isn't a point to YouTube. I mean, yes, you can satisfy yourself and make fun little side projects or whatever, but, you know, I feel like if you're kind of a decent human being and a decent content creator, you want to make sure at the end of the day that your fans are treated well, and you want to make sure that you're providing value to them almost every time you upload. Sure, there are going to be some instances where you provide the dumb little goofy video only for yourself, and that's totally fine. And that's totally healthy and acceptable. but your fans are a big part of what you do. And I think anyone who says that community management is useless are going to be the channels that are going to be suffering so much long term because they just didn't do it and didn't care and didn't bother with it. And then they're dead in 5 years and like no one remembers them at all. Sorry to be graphic, but like,
I mean,
that's where that
true.
stuff leads. That's where that stuff leads. True. Right.
You know what's a popular example that I just thought about?
What?
Do you remember Ray William Johnson?
A little bit, not much.
Yeah, that's why. Let me tell you why. The guy was one of the most popular YouTube channels on the platform. He was the most popular YouTube channel on the platform for a couple of years. Mm-hmm. And then because he had a very popular show called Equals 3, and he was a comedian, and he changed up the format about 2 years ago because he decided he wanted to go do bigger projects and stuff, which is great. And he's happy and he's still successful in his eyes, and that's fine. But his YouTube channel went down a lot because he got new hosts for the channel, even though everybody did not want new hosts. They wanted him. They wanted him to come back. And you'd think at some point he would have been like, okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and come back because this is better for me in the long run with my community and stuff. He just, kind of went on and did other stuff.
Right. And it kind of cost him big time.
Oh, yeah. I mean, his subscribers dipped so much that he had to stop. He stopped sharing his subscriber count on the channel.
Really? Jeez.
Yeah, because he had a couple million at the time. And, yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, I guess that's why I haven't heard of them before.
Yeah.
So let's get right into it then, as far as community management. And I think the first and probably most obvious place to start, if you're a YouTuber, where you're going to see a lot of community interaction, the comments section.
The comments, arguably the most important
Sometimes
part of your channel.
It's an angelic place full of nothing but positivity, and the other 99% of the time it's hell. Just literally the worst. No one likes it.
How many negative comments do you get? On average,
probably not a whole lot. Okay. But then again, you got to keep in mind that the ratio is a bit smaller because I literally don't have as many people commenting on, let's say, videos that like PewDiePie does. Right.
Right. For
PewDiePie has a huge audience, and simply by doing math, there's going to be a percentage of just negative comments simply based on the amount of people he has just commenting and stuff. Here's the thing: when you're so small and you only have 20 people commenting, odds are you're probably not going to get anything shitty, or if you are, you're going to get one shitty commenter that you really don't like.
Unless you're just really bad. I mean, if you
unless you're an awful human being,
subscribers. If you only got 20 subscribers and you're getting 20 plus hate comments on every video, you might need to rethink this whole YouTube thing.
Sure.
Unless they're talking about you personally, then you might just need to ignore it.
Sure. But let's
rethink the whole YouTube thing.
Let's start first, because I know there's going to be a lot of people who want the negative stuff, and I do want to get into the negative stuff. But let's start with the positive, right? Because that's the stuff that's super impactful, and that's the stuff that we really need to focus on in terms of comments. So let's start there. I make a video called Top 10 Bearded Men in Gaming, right? Hypothetically, just throwing that out there, right?
Zack Snyder's number one. Keep going.
Sure. Hypothetically.
Hypothetically.
I post the video out. It gets a couple of views, a couple of comments. And one of the comments that I look on there is some guy. He says, "Whoa, great video. I really appreciate it." What do I do?
Ooh.
What do I do?
Ooh, what do you do?
Yeah. Do I ignore it? What do I do? I don't know.
Here's what I would do.
Mm-hmm.
I'd comment first back.
Right.
Because comment is always nice. And I'd be like, "Hey, man." Or if it's a girl, I'd just be like, "Hey. Thanks for checking out the video. Hope you enjoyed it."
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I'll push a little, "You should subscribe." Maybe, but probably not. Because then I would go check out their channel just to see what kind of, see where they're coming from, what kind of content they're making. If they're a content creator, maybe they're not a content creator and they're just enjoying the view. And then I would just wait to see if they were commenting on another video, if in that case.
Right.
And
leave it a like, maybe a heart.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Give it a little likey like, a little hearty heart. Because now you can publicly let people know that you've seen their comments and liked them, which is pretty great.
That's really great, actually.
Management. Yeah.
Because beforehand, before the heart feature, the only way people would know whether or not you've seen somebody's comment is if you commented back. And then sometimes that reply can get lost. Sometimes it can get deleted. Sometimes you have to scroll down a whole lot of stuff. But if they didn't see that, then you wouldn't know, per se. And there's a lot of fake accounts out there and stuff like that. When YouTube introduced the heart system on a comment, it let people know, hey, this person saw your comment, loved your comment, and because of that, that comment's now going to be at like the top, and it's going to stay there, and everybody's going to get to see it. Exactly. So in a way, it became one of the first actual tools of comment moderation, aside from, if it's a bad comment, just straight up deleting it. But it encouraged other people to not only leave comments, but to leave positive ones as well. It cut down on a lot of the trash in the YouTube comment section when used really correctly.
Quick question, do you like and heart every single one of your comments that is positive?
Not all of them, but that more has to do with the fact that I'm lazy rather than it's like I don't want to. So the ones that don't get hearted and commented are either because like I'm lazy and forgot, or it was just kind of like a mean comment anyway. So
gotcha. Okay. Because see, I like and heart every single comment that I get. If it's not negative or not, completely moronic. Because there are some of those.
I'll go ahead and do that.
Do I?
Give me a good meme. Oh, you meme up your comment, I'll heart it. Can be done.
There we go.
Right.
Yeah. Well, there's a difference.
Yeah. I know which moronic you're talking about.
Yeah. Sure. I won't go into specifics, but probably not a good idea.
Sure.
Actually, I doubt those people would be watching anyways. But then then I also like to comment on to every video or every single comment, although it's been getting a little bit more difficult lately because I start to see more comments that are just like LOL, haha, funny. And so, well, what do you say to that? Usually I'll just leave a smiley face or something just to make sure there's an extra comment there. And then if it's like a question for my Q&A series, then I typically don't respond back because saying thanks for the comment so many times probably gets annoying.
Right.
To my viewers.
I don't do that with giveaway videos either because a lot of my giveaways, the way you enter is by typing in giveaway. So I felt no need to respond to those because that'd be annoying. It would kind of fill up people's inboxes, and I don't do them with the Q&A videos most times. But every other one I try to.
Right.
And I'm not gonna lie, I used to do it all the freaking time when I was just starting out. It used to be something I prided myself in and being like, I respond to every single comment. Look at me, I'm the man. And then as things have gotten bigger, as I've had less time, I'm not gonna lie, there's a lot of comments on my channel right now that I haven't replied to, simply due to time or stuff like that. So I've been
got a fix, boy.
Yeah, I've been in the wrong sometimes. I'm not gonna lie.
So I would argue if you have under 10,000 subscribers at the least,
right,
you should be commenting to, or you should be interacting with every comment you come across. Whether that means commenting back, leaving a like, leaving a heart. Maybe it's a negative comment and you have to get rid of it for whatever reason. Sure. I think you should interact with every single comment you get under at least 10,000 subscribers, possibly even up to 100,000. If it's manageable, it kind of depends on your channel, how much.
Yeah, what kind comments of content you do.
Such an interesting ratio where it kind of depends on the value of the video, whether or not you're going to get any kind of comments.
Exactly. But if you're small at all, you really do need to be replying to almost every content. You really do need to be replying to almost every comment, because we've all heard of memes like, "Oh, senpai has noticed me" or whatever, stuff like that you see on
dumb little anime fan boards or whatever. But that effect, I think, is definitely true, right? If you comment on a YouTuber that you really appreciate and you're like, wow, great video or whatever, and then they reply back, it's the most exciting thing in the world, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Like, if I left a comment on a Game Grumps video and they replied to me, like, I'd be over the moon. I'd be excited. I'd feel awesome. Like, wow, you guys made my day. This is incredible. But what we don't think about is, like, if you're a content creator as well, and you have comments sitting in there that aren't answered, you're the Game Grumps in that scenario. You're the guy. You're the guy to all these people who watch your stuff, right? If they bothered to leave a comment on your video, then chances are they cared enough, one thing. But they might have liked it enough, they might have hated it enough, or maybe wanted to debate your point. If you're getting any type of effort thrown your way like that, you need to be giving some of that back. Because that's going to keep people coming back, and that's going to let new people who see those comments being answered and really encourage them to do the same. It just creates a positive behavior and an atmosphere, as well as growth as well. So yeah, if you're under 10,000, 100,000, 1,000, whatever, and you have the time to respond to all your comments, I really think you should. There are some cases where it's like literally unmanageable. Like,
not for sure.
4 hours in the day to do that. But I guarantee most people in this podcast do have the time, and they just don't.
Right. Once you get big enough, like, even if it's like, I would even, if you're getting a substantial amount of comments, I would even be like, maybe you don't post 7 videos a day. Maybe you post 6 videos a day just so you can spend that extra day using up your time for community management.
Yeah, it's that valuable.
It's that important, because we're talking about real human beings that are spending their real time watching your videos. And for you to not give them that time of day back through, I mean, obviously you're giving them that time of day by making the videos. Yes.
Sure.
You're providing the value. You're providing the entertainment. But it's
going a step further.
Relationships. Exactly. Going a step further, building these relationships with these people, especially the ones that comment on your videos multiple times.
Yes.
Like, you want to keep these people around. And if you're not showing them that you're noticing their effort, then why would they want to stick around?
Exactly. Very much. And I want to make this point, too, that I think was kind of interesting. And this is very much a personal thing. I typically don't look at analytics a lot in terms of the numbers and who's watching my stuff, as far as that is concerned. And I'm not sure why. I think it has to do with my hatred for numbers and math in general, like I mentioned earlier. But what I do to offset that is, I make it an effort to try to know by name who all is watching my stuff. So, right, even though I don't look at analytics and the percentage of people who are watching my stuff, I can tell you the names of people who are watching me, and I could probably tell you a little bit about them too. So, right, I'm taking that effort to not just equate my fans to a simple number. And I think a lot of people, especially bigger channels, like to just think of their fans as simply a number, as simply a stepping stone to a higher point, as simply fuel to your YouTube fire, right? But you got to remember, they're people. They're people with lives, with time, with all this other stuff. And if they're putting in their effort to watch your stuff and do all this sort of thing, the least you could do is provide a little bit of value back. And by building those relationships and by establishing sort of a positive atmosphere and an area of goodwill, you're doing your channel services tenfold. It's, like Zach mentioned, something that is very ROI positive, even if it doesn't result in numbers going up. Because a long term, I think community management is one of the most important things you should be doing for your channel at all 100%.
Times. Absolutely. Right.
Doesn't matter how big you are a great way to start those relationships.
I argue that the comments are the most important analytic you can get throughout any aspect of not only just YouTube, but any social media, anywhere you're going. Because, like, you go to a big channel, you go look at PewDiePie's channel, he's got 50 million subscribers, going on 60 million subscribers. You go look at his likes to his latest video. It's got 1 million likes. I mean, not likes. Maybe you go look at the views for his latest video. Maybe it's got 1.5 million views, right? Then you look at the likes and it's like 150,000. Well, that's a lot different than 57 million.
Sure.
But then you look at the comment section, 16,000 comments.
Right, an even lower number.
And it's such an even lower number. But here's the thing. Even though those comments are less, those comments are still more valuable than a like, still more valuable than a view or the watch time or the subscriber, because it's like complete straight consumer research. It's an immediate, the consumer, the person who's watching your video is telling you exactly what they thought about something related to that video, or they're telling you something related to yourself or your community or something like that. You will learn something from every single comment you make.
It's engagement.
It's straight engagement.
Right. And I agree with you. I think comments are the most valuable thing on any social media platform. More valuable than likes, more valuable than subscribers, more valuable than views, more valuable than anything. Because, again, like you said, they're so freaking valuable and rare. They're so rare, right? Like we mentioned earlier, there's typically less comments than there are likes, than there are views, than there are subscribers. And that's because comments take more effort, right? It's easy to click a button. It's easy to click subscribe, to click like, to click on a video to watch it. It's a lot harder to click on the comment box and leave a response. Vastly more difficult. So when you think about how much work it takes just to simply leave a comment, you know, compared to leaving a like and stuff like that, that's when you need to realize that, oh, these are important. I'm almost wondering if the culture of YouTube was based more around comments rather than subscribers. Like you hear all the time of being like, I want to get more subscribers, or I want to get more views. You know, famous YouTubers say that, smaller YouTubers say that, little kids who are 10 say that. What if instead we switch the word subscriber for comments? Can you imagine how different YouTube's culture would be if we all thought that way? It would be insane. It would be, and I would argue better for everybody.
I think it would be so much better.
Right.
So much better. Because there's videos of like spam, to where like the spam they make a video and they spam people to making a bunch of comments. Like YouTube could easily see that video because of the fact that you're getting that much data.
Right.
Like it makes so much sense, right? Because when you think about the way we use YouTube, when you think about it as a viewer, which a lot of people like to forget about, the fact that we all started as viewers on YouTube
before
creators. When you think about how many videos a day you comment on, or better yet, how many videos do you comment in a week? I bet you can count them on your hands.
Right.
Unless
For me, I can't even, because it's zero. There's no numbers at all.
I mean, I comment on very few videos.
Right.
Very few videos. And it's because I'm a very busy boy. I use YouTube most of the time now. With YouTube Red, I'm listening to videos on the go. And then if I'm watching anything casually, I'm typically... maybe I'm on my bed, maybe I'm in mobile and I don't feel like scrolling all the way down to the page to comment something. Or, you know, it doesn't matter what the reason is. The fact is that as a viewer, we don't comment as much as we expect comments to come in.
Exactly.
So when you think about how scarce you use those comments, or you put those comments out, then you'll really start thinking about, then you'll really start thinking about how rare those are and how valuable they are. Because the more rare something is, the more valuable it is.
Right. I mean, that's like economic stuff right there we can get into if you really wanted to. It makes sense. It makes sense. Yeah. So that's a little bit of advice, a little bit of practical feedback. You know, if you are a type of person that is so focused on the subscriber count, maybe shift that focus to comments and see how much better you become because of that. because instead of creating videos, you know, just begging people to follow, you're instead now shifted to creating videos that are more interesting so that you can get comments, right? And you're making more videos that are outside of your comfort zone because they're going to be commented on more, right?
Exactly.
Just simply by focusing on comments rather than subs, your mindset is already changing. And I would think for the better as well. And I mean, like, if we want to put it in a pure math term, you know, engagement's a pretty important stat, you know, and a lot of that has to do with comments. And, you know, that's only going to bring yourself up if you just want to purely look at it from a numbers game if you have to.
Yeah, right? I mean,
there's
looking at it from a numbers game, just briefly, we talked about how important watch time is. Right. And how watch time is the most important thing in terms of analytics go for the YouTube platform. If you figure out a way to get people to comment more, numbers kind of show that they're going to watch more of your videos. If they're willing to engage more, which means they're going to watch more of your videos longer, and that means that watch time is going to go up, which means, you know, everything else goes up. So
if you're not already, be sure you are responding to every comment you get. And look, we're not asking for you to leave like the most intelligent of replies. You know, sometimes if you get a lol or an XD comment, you're free to just leave another lol or an XD or a smiley face. But you know, you all know, there's going to be some comments you get that are like paragraphs long that are really in depth and really feel like, oh gosh, this person really went all out. Try a little bit harder on those responses, right? Manage your time, manage your energy that you put out. Let's say you're waiting for a video to render. You ain't going to be doing nothing for a while. Why not go ahead and check out those comments and answer them? Maybe you're uploading a video. Maybe you're not working on another project. Why don't you go ahead and answer comments for a while? Maybe you're in a job that doesn't require a lot of effort and you got your laptop out. Oh, hey, comment time. You're in school with an iPad and you're supposed to be taking notes. Comment time. You're in the bathroom with your phone. Comment time.
Comment time. You're in line at a restaurant.
Right.
Comment. Like, there's just so much more time. Like, little 5 minutes here and there that you have that you're not doing anything, because we all have those times. You can still make it productive. And comments are just one of the very many things you could be doing productively on your phone.
By the way, yeah, we can get into a whole episode about that.
We get into a whole episode of that. But start with using that time for comments. And I have a feeling that you're gonna see some people come back and comment more videos.
I guarantee you, if you're not doing it now, it's gonna take so little time for you to just answer them. But by you doing it more and more, the time that's spent answering comments is going to gradually increase with it. And you know that if that's happening, then you're doing a good thing. There's, as far as comments are concerned, some people don't get any at all. And I noticed it has a lot to do with the type of content people make and stuff like that. But what would be like something we could do as content creators to sort of make it a more comment-friendly environment for our videos? Like, what's something you can recommend?
Well, I think number one is finding a way where you can get people to ask questions or answer questions. So, I mean, number one is Q&A series. If you start that up, like, people are going to be, you're actually inviting questions to be asked to you, which then also gets people to actually watch your videos there. And then the other thing is something that I've seen you unintentionally do. And we talked about this when we first started recording this podcast, but you didn't realize it at first. Right. But you started doing a question of the day on some Let's Plays. And that is one of the things that I would recommend people to start doing. And I still need to do it a little bit more too. Is having a question of the day, because it actively invites people to comment.
The reason I started doing them, by the way, is just because I saw so many other YouTubers do it. I'm like, oh, well, these successful guys do it. But I never truly thought, like, why? Yeah. Why all these popular YouTubers did that?
It's so weird. Why are you asking about cereal in the middle of a Let's Play about Mario?
And then you hear, you know, that, oh, comments are so important. And then suddenly it all starts to make sense now. Oh, they're wanting that engagement. They're wanting that response. They want an opportunity to answer back to your question. You know, they want discussion happening. You know, the reason a lot of drama channels, a lot of controversial channels and stuff like that do so well is because people leave so many freaking comments on them. Because, hey, you have an opinion about the news, you have an opinion about this controversy, you have an opinion about this drama, and you're more likely to share them when you're passionate about it. So a lot of these, you know, drama channels and news channels and stuff like that, the reason they're able to get so much success is because they feed off of that nature of humans wanting to sort of interact and give their own thoughts. And in YouTube sense, it means getting more comments. And
they're inviting discussion. That's the big thing, right? Like, you could get a bunch of LOL funny comments on a viral comedy video. Like, that's cool.
Right.
It's going to show up, you know, in the plus side for the analytics, but in the long term, like, the more comments you get that are discussion based, the more you're going to be able to interact with those comments. The more, here's a funny thing, somebody leaves a controversial negative comment on your channel, that could be in the plus side for you, because if enough people care about that topic, they're going to also comment back to that person.
Sure.
And I mean, you're going to get more comments. So
exactly. And there's other ways to do it too. Giveaways are a pretty good way to get comments.
Giveaways are good.
Polls. A lot of people do their polls on social media and stuff like that. But maybe if you have a question that you want to ask to your audience, make a short little minute video saying, hey, I need help, or I need you guys to give me some thoughts on something. And it makes the community feel like they have more power and leverage, which is always a good thing. If you can make your community feel like they actually matter, that's typically a good rule of community management.
Oh, absolutely.
But you get more comments that way as well when you ask polls or important questions and you make your audience feel like they're involved. And for me, like, they really have been involved. I can't tell you how many projects I wouldn't have done or would have done, you know, going the other way, had I not gotten community feedback and response. You know, several Let's Plays on my channel would not exist if I didn't ask for a poll. And several games that I've thought about playing, they'll be like, no, don't play that. And I won't.
Yeah.
You know, they're super helpful with answering big decisions like that. And like we mentioned too, at the beginning of your week on YouTube, they're a lot of what I had to deal with the whole Twitch affiliate thing, both good and bad.
Right.
So I've been experiencing a lot of that firsthand.
Yeah. Another thing, it's when you're answering comments back, when you're responding to comments, if it's like a positive thing, like, man, I liked your video, it was really good. You could answer that comment back with, hey, thanks for watching. What was it that you really liked about it? And then guess what?
Right.
You just got another comment.
Oh boy.
Like, you just got not only your other comment, because that does count towards analytics, but you got a secondary comment, which is, you know, from the other person. Maybe not 100% they're going to answer back, but they might be like, yo, I like this specific thing about it. You'd be like, oh, that's really cool. Why was that better than this other thing? And then here you're having a whole conversation with a dude in the comment section.
Exactly. And that's the thing that I wanted to get into next, is all the possibilities that can come, all the opportunities and possibilities that can come from responding to your comment section. There's one I can think of just right away. It's I don't know if you remember it really, but some gross bearded man I remember did a video about Mega Man or something.
It was February 17th, 2000. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know the exact date.
I don't either. But some bearded fellow did a video on Mega Man. It's a Let's Play, and I thought, hey, you know, this looks pretty cringy. I'll enjoy a watch out of this. And then when I found out that it was actually really good, I'm like, oh, holy cow, I was wrong. And so I felt obligated to leave a comment, and I did. And who did that bearded person turn out to be, Zach? Who was it? Who was it that I
Zach Galifianakis. No,
Man.
It was me.
Yeah.
It was me,
I literally found Zach through a Mega Man Let's Play part, left a comment, and the whole relationship that we have now in terms of like YouTube and doing this podcast and being legitimate friends on Discord and stuff, all of that came from proper good community management.
Yeah.
So that's to go to show. Like, it's crazy.
And what's great is it's not like a one-hit wonder random thing that happened, right? Like, I've made multiple friends, and I'm sure you have, through comments.
Exactly. That wasn't a one-time scenario.
Right. That's the great thing about it. And it's consistently been, good. Like, and that's what's great about it. Aden left a comment saying that he enjoyed my video, that he was surprised at the number of subscribers or views or whatever it may have been. Mm-hmm. And I was, I left him a comment back saying, "Hey, thanks, man. I really appreciate it." And then
literally
what
that day,
I like to do,
or the day after, it was quick.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I try to stay on top of things.
Right.
In terms of comments, especially comments like that, right? Like, because I got the mobile app, I get notifications for everything. Mm-hmm. If it's something like a haha or a lol, maybe I'll leave it for later on that night when I have time to respond. But something like that, I try to immediately get on it. Mm-hmm. Because what's great about it was I decided to check out your channel, because when I see something like that, I typically think, oh, okay, this person is either watches a lot of YouTube, which is typically always the case, because if you're a creator, you also watch a lot of YouTube. But number two is, well, fair enough. And then number two is this person's also a creator on here. So I like to go see where they're coming from. And if they're a creator, I'll check out a little bit of their stuff, because I figure, you gave me your time of day to watch a random Mega Man video. Mm-hmm. Why couldn't I check out something of yours? And I found out you had this top 10 on some Pokemon. I was like, I'm not too big into Pokemon, but it's a top 10, so it can't be too bad. And I checked it out, and I realized this guy's got a good head on his shoulders. He wants to do the whole content creation thing. Someone message asking if he wants to do a collab.
Right.
Since you first commented on my video, I had immediately had a little bit more leverage. And sure. I was able to, potentially get a collab, right?
Yeah. And I believe your response had something to do with your Skype username or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, crap, I got to open up Skype again. I haven't done that in a while.
Yeah. What's Skype again?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
This was February, guys. Okay, Discord wasn't. Well, it was there, February. But it wasn't big yet.
I was not a fan of Discord.
Right. Things
I didn't even know what it was actually in February.
But here's the thing about that is that my intention in leaving that comment, like I said, was simply to pay respects, because I had been proven wrong in anything. The thought that was going through my head was just this was a good video, and I wanted to let him know that. It wasn't, oh, I'm gonna totally comment on him, and then we're gonna collab, and then I'm gonna steal all his views and all this sort of I wasn't thinking that. Right? I wasn't expecting you to respond. I wasn't demanding that we had a relationship afterward. Once I left the comment, the ball was in your court. I let it go. And it was ultimately up to you whether or not you were going to hit it back or do anything or respond at all. And then when you left your response, I could have ignored that too, right? It was a back and forth relationship. It was back and forth. I hit the ball, you hit the ball. It was like tennis. We were tennising it up. Mm-hmm. And ultimately, everything worked out to where we did collabs and then all this other stuff. And eventually this podcast as well. And all of it came from just proper and good community management. You got to think, what if Zach responded to the comment a day later? Would I have responded? What if I had found a different channel that had responded first? What kind of relationship would that would have been? You think if some things had been played out a little bit differently, where would you be right now? Both good and bad, for the comments you've ignored and for the comments that you eventually did get, that can change. One comment can change so much about your channel, and you don't think of it that way, and you don't expect it. That's the thing. You don't expect it because you don't deserve anything. Exactly. But it can lead to so many great things and great places when played right at the right time. And you definitely don't want to underestimate that value that could bring to your channel. And I know I certainly can't, because look where we're at now because of it.
Exactly. It's hard to say, here are the definite ways that you can get comments, and we can say, if you do this, you might get more comments. If you do this, it's a possibility you can get more comments. What we can say is, when you do get those comments, they can lead to great things.
And you should comment on them regardless.
Your stuff properly. Exactly.
Comment on them immediately, regardless of whether or not it's going to lead anywhere. It doesn't even have to, and it doesn't. And it might not.
Doesn't.
But
and it hasn't before. Right? I've definitely seen comments from people that are like, hey, this was good, and then went back and checked out their channels. Okay, they seem to have a little bit of going on. Not quite 100% sure with them, but I'll go ahead and leave a little comment and then mention something about a collab in another video after I've seen a couple of videos, and they didn't go anywhere. And, that's fine. It doesn't bother me because there's still plenty of other, opportunities out there.
Right. You didn't expect it. That was the thing.
Exactly.
This is sort of an actual good version of quote unquote sub for sub. But instead of it being based on expectations and demands, it was simply a natural relationship that formed, for one, via Zach's ability of hard work and effort to even get me to see that video. And then two, for me to like it and to leave a response. And then three, for him to respond back. A lot more had to happen there, but it was a lot more honest and open and natural than, let's say, if I had just left a comment on that video that said sub for sub. And then, we might have had a different opinion of each other and it might not have worked out.
Exactly. Well, for number one, I wouldn't have checked out your channel.
Sure.
Not necessarily. Actually, I have this weird thing where I do check out sub for sub channels just to see if they're... We mentioned last episode, I like to see whether or not they're being led astray. And then when I commented on your video, entirely different.
But it would have been a different opinion, right?
It would have been a paragraph saying, hey, man, I like what you're doing, but don't do for sub because it's terrible.
Exactly. And the other thing I wanted to mention about that, too, is that a lot of people, when they hear the word community management, they think, oh, managing their community, their own community, managing my comments and my stuff. A big part of community management is getting involved in other people's communities and getting involved in the sphere of what you're into. If you're into gaming and you're not watching other gaming YouTubers, not just famous ones, but ones that are around your size, you're kind of doing a disservice to yourself,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you don't have to get collabs from them, and you don't necessarily have to hit them up or whatever. But you can get a little bit of value. You can maybe compete with them. You can maybe see them as a rival. You can maybe learn some new tricks from them. And in some cases, you maybe want to comment and see if that can lead to other opportunities. But the thing is, your community is one thing, but you also want to be sure that you're getting involved in other people's communities and you're being a good viewer, a good commenter, someone who actively encourages positive behavior. And that can work out pretty big in other scenarios too, right? Eventually you'll get noticed. Eventually it might lead somewhere and it might not. But at the very least, you're putting more good into the world and you're making just the overall gaming community on YouTube so much better because of that. And I think that has more value than any sort of collab or possible subscriber. Putting more good back into the communities you like, If I can make gaming on YouTube that much better, at least from a small creator standpoint, then I feel like I've done my job, all right, cool. Maybe I didn't impact people with my videos, but I, helped out people who were putting out good content and showed them proper respect and love and gave them motivation to continue,
Right. And at the end of the day, I think that's so much more important,
Right.
Just doing good in the world.
Exactly.
Yeah. Playing through a Let's Play, it's nice and it's fun, and getting a couple comments there is cool, but by putting, doing a little more good in the world, that's something you'll never lose.
Exactly. So take the time, look into other people's communities. It's worked out for me several times. Sometimes it hasn't. But it's interesting nonetheless. And I've mentioned this to Zach before, but, even though we had a relationship set up and we were potentially collabing and all this other stuff, I viewed him as a rival for a good period of time. In fact, I still do.
Yeah.
To this certain day.
I'm his Naruto to his Sasuke.
We didn't word it like that, but but it's interesting. It's interesting.
Zack Snyder is my Ninetales Fox. Zack Snyder Productions is my Ninetales Fox, and Subijin Games is the original, Believe it.
I thought you were going to go with Zack Snyder Productions is like the Shippuden, and then
yeah, basically.
Series.
Basically, yeah.
And then when you
it makes so much sense.
When you make a third channel, it'll be Boruto's dad. Then you put it over there.
Oh shit! All right, we're canceling the podcast. We already made Naruto references.
It's over.
It's over.
It's over.
Can't. No more believing it anymore.
I actually did figure out though from a Did You Know voice acting video. Apparently, they don't do Believe It at all in the Japanese series. That's like strictly an English thing.
Yeah, because there's
later on.
You know why? Weird tangent, but people are going to want to know this. Maybe, probably not. The reason why is because they have like a fictional Japanese word that they use instead that literally does not translate. The Japanese creator was just like, here's a weird word that Naruto can use. Right. And so if you get a really weeaboo kid, that really wants to learn Japanese but doesn't want to go actually learn it, they'll use this fake word and think it's Japanese. And it's great. It's great. Amazing. So I said Believe It instead.
That's wonderful. You gotta watch more.
There you go. Did you know Naruto?
Exactly.
Oh man.
What is this?
Oh, it's coming. It's coming.
Yeah.
What's been really great about getting to know you and, you know, being involved in your comments and vice versa is that we both got a lot out of each other's communities as well.
Right. It very much cross-pollinated.
It did. Yeah. And it's not everybody in your community is on mine. Not everybody in my community is on yours. There's certain people that are in my Discord that don't watch my videos at all.
Right.
But it still like has some of the same people here and there, and it's a very great atmosphere for creators and for the viewers as well.
Exactly. And I'm not one of those people who, I know some people are out there where they're like, oh no, I can't have my viewers watch other YouTube channels. They should only be watching me. But you got to think about it, right?
That's such a stupid mindset.
Fans, they're people. And they don't always just watch your stuff. They probably are subscribed to like 50 or sometimes even 100 other YouTubers. So you got to be open to the fact that potentially some of your viewers are going to watch other channels. And, you know, hey, if it happens to be a channel that you really respect and that you really know and you think really deserves more viewers anyway, in my opinion, that's a good thing. You know, I'm glad Ben watches your stuff now. You know, I'm glad people like Denku occasionally show up. I'm glad, you know.
Right.
Patience open to these podcasts and likes listening to them. Like, that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Right.
For me. And
definitely.
And it's worked the other way 1,000 times before where I've gotten Jay to watch my stuff, Kyle to watch my stuff. You know, it's pretty much a 50-50, if not real close to 51-49 or some shit like that in terms
of Oh, absolutely. And it's a great feeling to have when you kind of have like two communities kind of go together and you get a lot of interesting dynamics that you never would have gotten.
Right.
If you had,
and it's a healthy environment for both. That's the cool thing about it is that I know by my fans going to your Discord and to your streams that they're going to be treated well, right?
And vice versa. Yeah.
It's not like I'm a father and my girlfriend is seeing this bad boy over here and he's not going to treat her with respect or anything like that. Like, you know, you're the good kid, right? You're the nerd in math class who asked my daughter to prom. I'm like, I can trust her. I can trust her with this nerd. He ain't gonna get anything. He ain't gonna get no food.
Exactly.
I'm in safe hands.
Except he always gets the poon.
Oh no.
Aiden just don't know it.
Oh no. What have you done?
Gotta keep it quiet though. Keep it quiet though.
What have you done?
I had somewhere I was gonna go, and then you mentioned poon, and you know, just automatic distractions. You know,
sure.
This male brain here. It's
both comedians are treated well, is what I was saying.
Yeah, absolutely. Shit, I had a point.
You can think it.
But it's lost. It's lost. I'll come back to it. Eventually.
All right.
But absolutely, I mean, the fact that both communities have been so prevalent and working towards a greater good, if you will, I think it's really cool. Because one of these days we're going to do some kind of big event, and it's going to be like a charity live stream or something similar to bring, you know, good into the world. And I know that I can go over to Aiden's Discord and be like, hey, we're trying to do this big thing. Would you guys be willing to help out? And
same vice versa.
9 out of 10 people, right? 9 out of 10 people are going to come by.
Exactly.
And that's pretty awesome.
That's a really good thing.
It is.
And I think the cool thing too is that both me and Zach have done sort of a good enough job in community management that when the two communities did kind of come together, amazingly, they all kind of treated each other with respect pretty well. So I feel like I've done a good job with my community to the point where they're not going to shit on everybody from yours.
Right? Yeah, same. Yeah,
like,
it's cool.
The fact that, I got a nice little group of people who don't mind hanging out in other Discords occasionally and being good people back. Because I would feel, like my community is a reflection of me, right? So,
right.
If my community is assholes for other people, that's going to come back to me eventually, and I'm not going to feel good.
Definitely.
So I'm glad the two have been nice to each other and vice versa.
Yeah, and I think it's going to show as we continue to grow and we continue to become a part of other people's communities, because it's going to inevitably happen. Mm-hmm. More communities will begin to merge, and that's typically what ends up happening with just about anything.
Exactly.
I was going to say, you were talking about, I thought of it. I thought it came back to me. So it was a couple minutes ago, you mentioned how, like, you're not one of those people that thinks that, people that watch your channel doesn't watch anybody else. Mm-hmm. And I just wanted to say, like, having that kind of mindset is not good to have at all, because if you're worried about people competing with you on YouTube in terms of views, like, boy, you know how many other things people could be spending their time doing?
Right.
Like, they don't just have to compete. You don't just have, if you think about it as a competition against other YouTubers, you're not only competing against other YouTubers, but you're competing to television shows, movies, books, video game, like
other social media.
Yeah, other social media, literally anything you can spend your time on, it's a time game.
Right.
That's what it is in the end of the day. So if you're thinking about competing, you're competing with time, and you done lost that battle, son.
Yeah. You're already too far and too late into the game where it's just like, you're not going to just own every person who watches your channel, own all their time, right? Mm-mm. And I mean, that's okay, right? So
that's absolutely, for sure.
So long as you have a couple of people that will come back to watch your stuff, maybe not immediately when it's out, but like the day of or whatever, maybe a couple of days, that's just as good. And that's just enough to where you can, grow and get results out of it. People think, if I had everybody watch all my stuff and only my stuff, I'd be huge by now. And maybe that would be the case, but it's really unrealistic. And like you mentioned, those people just aren't out there. And, it might be a good thing that is the case, because there's 7 billion people, and if they pick one thing to do and never do anything else, then it would be hard to even gain an audience, right? Because everybody would be taken up with the one thing that they're doing. So, like, your channel probably wouldn't even exist if that was the case. So think about that, too. Like, nobody would be on your channel at all if they just stuck to one viewing platform, one hobby, one whatever, one channel. You're lucky to be where you're at. And the same thing, you have to be willing to accept that your fans and your viewers are going to watch other things and are going to enjoy other things, and that's healthy and okay.
Exactly.
And could potentially be a good thing depending on where they're looking.
That's true.
Sure.
That's true. And as we can see, like, since it wasn't a competition, we definitely got a lot of benefits from getting those communities together. So.
Oh, it's a competition for me, but it's a healthy one.
Fair.
And it's one that I don't have to win either. Is the
right. Thing. You're winning it right now.
Right. I'm winning it right now. In terms
of
like
that
sub counts.
Got like four more subs, and you're a Twitch affiliate, so I just got to catch up with that. And
yeah,
I'll
but
be
you're
good.
winning way more in the view game and probably the content game because you've been around.
Fair.
And I think if we were to compare my first couple of months with Zack Snyder Productions' first couple of months, I think that'd be some interesting results too.
Oh, it'd be some interesting analytics to look at for sure.
That would probably move in your favor, but I'm not sure. Anyway,
I don't know.
A lot of positive stuff, I think.
Definitely.
Do we want to get into the negative side of the dirty comment section?
The negative? Why you gotta be such a negative Nancy?
Look, it's what the comments are known for. When people talk about
the
comment section, it's typically not a good thing. So we need
We'll see what I was what I was doing was being negative about talking about negative
Negative
stuff.
things.
Ooh.
That's deep, dude.
Yeah, that's deep. So, negative comments.
Right. They happen sometimes.
It's the worst thing as a YouTuber. You just get negative comments all day, and they don't bother me that much.
Yeah, me neither.
I kind of like them.
But then again,
if I'm being honest,
we're not like Markiplier or whatever who has to deal with like probably 100,000 shitty comments a day or some shit like
True.
that. By perspective,
True.
we have to deal with the one asshole as compared to the thousands of assholes.
That's true. I also live this very, really well-rounded mindset where negative comments in general were a part of my childhood, and
Right.
I ignored them.
Your life
And
was
once
the
I
YouTube
started
comment section.
It was. You see it. You see, when you're in elementary school and you're a nerd and a little bit overweight and you wear glasses,
Right.
you know, you just get picked on for some reason. I hadn't figured out why, but
Seems to be a commonality.
seems to be something that just kind of happens in life. So, you know, I learned.
Deal with the real life comment section every year.
Yeah. So negative comments are nothing. And I kind of enjoy them because of what you can do with negative comments.
Right. So, like, as far as, you know, negative comments, they're a thing that happens, you know. We can try our best to sort of, you know, make our comment sections and our channels the most positive environments in the world. And even then, sometimes we're still going to get shit, right? It's going to happen. The question becomes for a lot of people, for YouTubers just starting out, for YouTubers who are getting big, for all this sort of stuff, how do I deal with that negativity? And how do I turn it into a good thing?
Right.
So that's what we're going to get into now, is ways to sort of offset all these negative comments. And probably the easiest way is kind of what we've already mentioned. Just ignore them. I mean, right. Don't let them get to you. Pretty simple, right?
They literally have no effect on your life
at all.
And that's what's very interesting about negativity in general, is that if you don't let it have an effect on your life, it won't let it won't be come an effect on your life.
Weird things happen when you stop caring about what other people think about you.
Lesson
in general.
you start automatically winning at things, and you're like, wait, what happened?
Wait, hold on.
I'm happy because I chose to be happy. What
is
this?
Crazy, I know. One of the best life moments I think I've ever had, really, is just, and I've told this story before on the Couch Productions, and maybe even to you a couple of times. In middle school, probably 4th or 5th grade, roughly. I'm not sure which. I mean, it was happening around the same time. Boy took school like ultra seriously. Right?
I feel that.
I thought school was my life. School was the only way I was going to succeed. If I failed at school, I might as well have been dead, right? Like, you know, there's no point in living anymore if you're bad at school. Like, who do I think I am, right? So, as a kid, elementary school, or not elementary school, middle school, elementary school, all that sort of stuff, took school very seriously, point being. But the problem with that is that anytime I would fail or do bad, I would let it get to me really poorly. I would let it get to me so bad that I would be nervous. I would be anxious. I didn't want to go to classes because I'd be so worried about how a teacher would react if I didn't finish homework or didn't finish a paper, and would sometimes have emotional breakdowns, both at home and sometimes at school, right? It'd be weird. I'd be sitting in class one day, and then they'd be like, oh, come and turn your homework, and then I didn't have time to the night before, and I'd freaking cry and flip out, right? Like, lot of emotions and a lot of stuff, especially for, you know, 4th or 5th grade. You're like, what, 10 or 11 or something?
Yeah.
So you're fairly young and you're having to deal with a lot of this shit. What made me turn it around, and this is a weird story, a kid named Jason or whatever was in my class, and I noticed a whole lot of the time that he did not care about school at all. And at the start of the year, I thought, man, what a loser. This guy is going to get nowhere in life, right? Like,
you should really pay attention more in class, and he would do better and all that sort of stuff, like I am, right? And then so one day I get hit with a pretty bad emotional breakdown or whatever, and all this sort of stuff, and I'm in the halls and I'm just checking things out, and I see Jason, who had just kind of gone through, he had sort of failed the same test I did, right? He had been in the exact same predicament I have. And rather than letting it get to him, he did the weird thing where it was just like, oh, okay, and moved on. And it hit me. It hit me right there like a truck. I'm like, wait a minute. I don't have to let this affect me, and I don't have to take things so seriously. And oh my God, it was like I was given a second chance at life again when the immediate second I realized that. All of a sudden, all these things that I thought were so important and I thought that mattered so much suddenly didn't mean anything at all if I wasn't happy, Suddenly I could just simply ignore things and simply just live a happier and better life. And here's the thing, like, I didn't drop out of school, I didn't quit.
Right.
You
didn't become
beat.
Jason.
Right.
True.
And he finished school too. Long story short. Yeah. But the thing was, if any time like I did bad on a test or I didn't get any homework done or whatever, I didn't let it affect me as much as I did when I was in 4th or 5th grade. And because of that, I've had such a better time, not only in school, but just life in general, and dealing with bullies, and dealing with negativity, and dealing with expectations, and dealing with my parents, and all sorts of stuff. It was a real life-changing moment. And then from like there on out, from 4th or 5th grade on out, I had figured like, oh my gosh, I'm like a genius. I've just discovered this, right? And then would go around sharing it with other people,
Yeah.
Because I thought, oh my gosh, I'm so happy. I wonder how it would affect someone else. And it's the same thing with comments. Kind of bringing it back around here. If you don't let it affect you, then you can live your life happily and continue to do what you love. And in this case, make more YouTube videos, right?
Exactly. It's...
Sure.
Yeah, it's all about, to put it bluntly, it's all about not giving a fuck. It really is.
At the stuff
on the most basic level. Right. So obviously, give a fuck about the things you love. Care about the things that are important in your life. But when it doesn't matter, when it truly is things that don't matter, and you learn not to care about it, you're just gonna live a better life, and that includes the comment sections. I kind of want to give a little brief story myself. I'll try to make it short, but because it got me thinking. Sure. So I started school when I was 4 years old in preschool.
Oh, geez. That was the exact opposite.
Yeah. Started 4 years old, very, very bright child, learned how to read before I got to 4K, all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, I was a nerd. I was reading to my 4K class, man. Like, that's how... So, because, automatically, here I am starting out different than the rest of the children, for the most part. I had my first bully when I was 4 years old.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. Kid was named Lee. I'll just leave it at that. So, what became interesting with Lee is that I let it get to me a little bit. I talked to my dad about it, and he was like, just ignore it, just ignore him. He just doesn't understand. He's just jealous because you're smart. That's what my dad would say, which is probably what it was. I don't know. Because at this point, I wasn't yet the obese middle school kid that I would learn to be. I did have glasses though. But one day I decided I'm going to take matters into my own hands.
Oh boy.
So Lee says something, does something, whatever it is. Your boy picks up a pair of scissors. Doesn't get as bad as you think it was. No, it's not as bad as you think it is. Your boy picks up... No. Okay. Boy picks up a pair of scissors and cuts his shirt.
Oh, okay.
I cut his shirt. And he goes straight to the teacher.
Right, stitches.
And stitches, of course. He should have gotten some stitches, but nah.
Cut him with these scissors and giving him some stitches.
Goes straight to the teacher.
Right.
I get in a little bit of trouble. He gets in a little bit of trouble because he had instigated it. Right. But more importantly, it was like when I went home and I was like, my parents were talking to me, they had me a little scared because I thought I was in I thought I was going to be in big trouble.
Right.
And like, oh no, I done did this. It was not worth it. But in the end of the day, it wasn't that big of a deal. It was a lesson that I learned not to retaliate like that, obviously. And then, but it wasn't like, this was still 4-year-old me, so I still cared about what bullies were saying to me.
Right.
But
Kid, of course.
What was interesting about this kid Lee is that he followed me to my elementary school.
Ooh.
So he's in my 5K class. He's in my first grade class. He shows up again multiple times throughout the next 4 years of my entire elementary school life.
Mm-hmm.
And he picked on me every once in a while along with other people. It still got to me a little bit. It wasn't one of those things where I went home crying every day, but it was like one of those things where it kind of, affected me. It affected my... Right. It was one of those things that affected my confidence and who I was as a person because I let it get to me. And he followed me in middle school. I was like, this is wonderful.
You're not another schoolie. Come on.
Exactly.
Any other school.
Other school.
Just not this one.
But it was around the end of my 6th grade. I had... went through some things, was just like figuring more shit out. And I don't remember the exact day, but I started caring less about what kids said to me, what people said to me, what my grades said to me, et cetera, et cetera. Mm-hmm. And I remember the moment that this kid came up to me in middle school and went to pick on me, and I didn't let it affect me at all. I just kind of laughed about it, and I was like, yeah, I think, a little bit of self-detrimental humor here and there. Or, yeah, you're cool, man. Yeah, whatever. And then something crazy happened. A couple years later, he goes to my high school.
Right.
Because, he's got to follow me around for some reason. And he's, trying to come, and say hey to me every once in a while. He's asking me how I've been, and because we didn't see each other quite frequently because we were in different classes.
Tried to ignore him.
Part of it was that, but then the other part of it was we just kind of had different paths. He wasn't the best kid. He wasn't the brightest kid. Obviously, most bullies aren't. I was in the honors classes. He wasn't. So I didn't really see him that often by the time I got into halfway through middle school. But it was every other time I ever had an encounter with him at school, at my job, even senior year of high school, even after I've graduated. I think I've seen the kid at least once. Mm-hmm. Got to have. It's been nothing but positivity. And it's interesting. It's really weird because it just goes to show people start respecting you more when you just don't give a fuck about what their opinion says to you.
And I've heard similar stories from a lot of other people. Only sometimes they involve them punching the bully and then they just back off.
Yeah.
But I'm a lot more non-confrontational in general, so I never would have been put in a scennario like that. So my kind of
we may or may not have gotten into a fight in 6th grade as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that may or may not have happened. Not scissors this time. Nah. Little fist here and there. Small little altercation. May or may not have happened as well.
Right. Hypothetically speaking.
Hypothetically speaking here.
Mm-hmm.
But then it was also multiple bullies, and it just took me a while to finally understand, hey, my dad was right. Just ignore him.
Mm-hmm. Violence is not the answer. Never is. It.
Most of the time.
Right, most of the time. Sometimes when it's absolutely necessary and a bear's trying to kill you, you kind of have to, give him a little kick. Get a little no bear.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to die.
Exactly. No bear, not today.
But sometimes it's not necessary. 2 things from your story.
Agreed.
Number 1, I think all of the best comedians must have gotten bullied sometime in their livelihood. Because I notice people that deal with a lot of bullying end up being a lot funnier for some reason. And it's partially because what you mentioned, you get a lot of that self-deprecation humor that was
absolutely
that affected you, and then you kind of use them in junk material in your later years.
Oh yeah.
So it's funny what used to affect you, like, is now sort of used as a positive, which is really cool. Number two, I think a whole lot of the whole bullying problem has a lot to do with the parents you have, right? I guarantee you, whoever the parents of that bully is, you know, he probably wasn't treated well at home. You know,
it was. That's true. Yeah,
he probably was put in a scenario where, like, you know, he kind of had to retaliate, and he kind of had to sort of, you know, feel good because at home he just wasn't. And then on the opposite side, you and me were lucky enough to have pretty good parents that were willing to talk with us and were willing to, even when altercations happened, even when times got bad, that they were willing to work with us and sort of be like, okay, look, right, school's important and all this sort of stuff, but you can't let it affect you to this point. And without having those conversations, I don't think I would be the same person I am today. So I feel like a lot of that has to do with your parents and what kind of environment you grow up in. And it kind of determines if you're going to be the bully or the person that has to deal with it, you know? So
that's true.
I feel like if I ever do become a father figure in some form or fashion, I really want to make sure I get that part down. I don't want my child to live a miserable life, and I certainly don't want him being the bully at all either. So I got to do my part.
Yeah, that's true.
But those were my 2 points as far as your story was. It was very cool.
Cool. Yeah. So, I mean, that leads right into how you deal with the comments. You either ignore them or what other ways could you handle negative comments?
Sure. Deleting them. You knew that.
Deleting them is possible, yeah.
If you really want to.
If it's bad enough. Well, there's also a couple of negative comments you can get, right? There's the "you're ugly and fat" comment. Love those.
Which means nothing.
Typically with more words
right.
that are not suitable for children's ears. Not that this podcast is suitable for children's ears. But and then there's the other type of comment that's kind of like seems kind of negative, but it's actually constructive criticism in disguise, or straight constructive criticism.
Right. Constructive criticism, you do need to be able to not only be able to pick that out, but also like thank the person for leaving that criticism in the first place.
Right.
Right. And that can be hard because you can view it as a personal attack. You can view it as, oh, this guy's coming after me. No, if he leaves constructive criticism, he's trying to help your channel, and you really do. Again, it takes a lot of effort to leave a comment. It takes a whole lot more effort to even bother to like help you get better, you know?
Right.
But obviously it depends how it's worded. If there's a bunch of insults thrown in, then it really isn't constructive criticism, right? Like, you got to be able to distinguish the two.
I like to take those kind of comments, show them to somebody, and I haven't really had to deal with this because I feel like I can handle negative stuff pretty strongly. But if I did have a question or a comment that I didn't think was complete constructive criticism or not, I would share it with somebody else. Be like, hey, what do you think about this comment? Maybe there's something hidden in there. I like to try to find at least something positive in everything negative. And maybe there is something like, this guy just really did not like my editing style. And so maybe I should, maybe I should figure something out, because maybe that would have made that a positive comment instead of a negative comment. You never really know.
And things like your voice sucks or whatever, like you can't improve based upon that.
Right. You can't change that. But things like your audio sucks.
That's something you can do. That's something you can improve upon. That's something you can
change.
Right.
Right.
And so that's how you can easily distinguish constructive criticism. And again, those comments, super helpful, super rare. Give the time and acknowledge them. And, if you can, keep those people around for when you make your better video. And they'll feel pretty good that you took their suggestion as well. So not only do you win, but they win too. Which is great.
Absolutely.
You turn it into a positive. And then one that you had mentioned in the previous recording is just turning them into memes.
Oh yeah, I love it. I love it. It happens to me more often on streams. If I get like raided by some random people, there's a couple of moments where I just got like some of the stupidest people coming into my streams, just like trying to cause mayhem, wanting a man to cry on camera, and I'm just like, yo, that's funny. dude was literally like, your mom works at 7-Eleven, and just ironically, very ironically, I'm like, yo, you've seen my mom at 7-Eleven? Yeah, she works there. Because my mother does indeed work there. Yeah. I'm like,
for this particular day, she definitely did.
This particular day, she does, yeah. Like, do you know her? Guy's like, no. I'm like, oh, well, I was checking because I figured maybe you went by the store or something.
Sure. Yeah, you never know.
Maybe you go to my college. I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah, you turn it into a funny moment.
Yeah, or like somebody comes in, you're gay. Oh, well, would you like to be my lover? I don't know. It's just like stupid shit, dude.
Right.
You just gotta make it funny, and then sometimes those people that just came in to troll you to have a good time themselves, make themselves feel good and powerful, they might actually end up following you because they realize, oh, this guy's kind of funny. And
again, you're bringing more good into the world too.
Yeah.
One less asshole is better for everybody.
One less assholes. Absolutely.
Right. If a 7-Eleven joke makes somebody better, then I think it's worthwhile.
Agreed.
Which is great. Yeah, those are just some of the ways you can deal with negative comments. I know, negative comments kind of come with the turf, and obviously it's a lot harder if you're a lot bigger. But I figured the community management episode would be the best place to bring that up, just simply because, like, they're technically your community. They may not appreciate you at all, but they're part of it. So you do definitely have to manage it in one shape or another.
Speaking of negative comments, because you're thinking, well, those people that are negative towards me are part of my community. So what if they go on a subreddit? What if they make a subreddit for your channel, and it's all negative stuff, and then you have a group of negative people talking about your channel on Reddit or some fan forums or something? What do you do about that? Because that can be kind of tough.
Exactly. Yeah. There's a difference between the bully who will just leave a mean comment and the hardcore bully who's out to like ruin your life.
Yeah.
So shit like that.
And get people on their side.
A little bit more difficult. The best you can do, I think, in that scenario is just to simply take the high road, right? Is to, obviously, it's going to affect you. It's going to affect your uploads, and it's going to affect how people respond to your comments. But what you don't do is you don't give them attention. You don't make yourself look like an ass, so you're extra careful about what you upload, right? If you made a mistake, you don't do it anymore. And you just consistently get better, and you continue to treat people with respect and pretend like it's not going on until then, right? If it's something personal, you probably don't have any reason to address it. Don't. If it's something that like needs to be brought up, then be sure you're doing it in not a hateful way and not a way that's going to add more fuel to the fire and ammunition. If you're going to have to address it, be sure that it's going to be very well thought out and that it's going to, put out the fire, right?
Right.
You're not adding any fuel. Right. You're not making things worse. You're simply stating your position, why you did the thing you did, what's planned for the future, and to thank people for, sticking by you and all that sort of stuff. Things like that.
Definitely.
Because do that wrong, and you've made your life a living hell. There's so many channels out there who do the response video so poorly and shoot themselves in the foot that they make their situation 9 times worse than it needed to be. Because I'm going to be a smartass about this, or I'm going to call shots at everybody. When you're ending a fire like that, the goal is not revenge. Don't go into that mindset. The goal is to get everybody back on a level playing field and to put more love and positivity in the world. You're not trying to stoke the hate fire just a little bit more. It's not your job. I mean, if you're a drama channel, maybe that is your job. But aside from that,
but don't be a drama channel, and then
there you go. Problem solved. Don't be a drama channel.
If there's anything you didn't take from this video, we want you to take this. Don't be a drama channel.
Exactly. Problem solved.
I mean, at the end of the day, the people that are losers, and by losers I mean the people that are hating on you because you're you. Right? Like, they're gonna lose in the end of the day. That forum's not gonna be around forever. That thread's not gonna be around forever. You'll still be around forever as long as you take the high road. And
You won't let it
there's
affect you that way either. You'll be
exactly. And guess what? There's ways to circumvent that so that stuff like that doesn't happen.
right. Yeah.
In the long run, especially on major outlets, major social media websites, major forums, major community outlets. There are ways to kind of make sure that doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I think number one is make your own shit. Make your own Discord. Make your own Reddit subreddit. Even if it's early, even if it's like 3 years before anybody uses it, you make sure it's the official subreddit of Zack Snyder Productions, which I need to do this probably. Mm-hmm. Then you know that nobody else is running it, and if you need to take care of something, you need to take action, you can.
Exactly. And that's a good tip that I think we'll get into, is just like being sure that there are multiple places for your community to meet up, not just the comment section. And I definitely want to take it outside the comment section. But real quick, I wanted to mention, there are a couple of YouTubers I know who put out great content, put a lot of editing into their stuff, do everything right, but just happen to have like kind of an annoying, gamery, kind of cartoony, high-pitched voice. And it's not intentional. It's not like they're doing it for an act. That's legitimately how they sound, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And then, as a result, they'll get so much shit over something they have absolutely no control over, right?
Yeah.
These people will show up on things like Did You Know Gaming, or show up on things on collabs. And regardless of what the video's content is, what the topic is, whatever, all the comments will be filled like, ew, don't have this guy back, his voice is awful. Or, dude, can you please not talk like that? Like, there isn't a choice there. You know, if you're one of these people who are... Well, first, thank you for watching the podcast. But if you're one of these people that are simply throwing out negativity and doing that just to get a rise out of people, or if you think you're doing the right thing, you're not doing the right thing. That's not constructive criticism. That's not helping anybody.
Agreed.
These people are simply living their lives, want to make videos, and obviously have a passion for it if they're continuing to do it so long. Don't make their life worse by trying to comment on things like their voice or their looks or their past experiences.
100%.
You know, because here's the thing. We've all made mistakes. And at one time or another, we've all been shitty people. You know? Mm-hmm. Whether you were a kid, whether you were an adult, in high school, in college, we make mistakes constantly on an everyday basis. And of course, on the internet, that shit is going to get blown out of proportion and they're going to be used against you. But number one, if you're somebody dealing with that, try not to let that affect you. And number two, if you're a commenter, don't push negative shit like that they can't control. And it'll just make everyone's viewing experience just a lot better in general, I think. Anytime I see, you know, people giving shit to people like that because of their voice or anything like that, I try to leave a positive comment, or I try to support them somehow, either via Twitter or via YouTube, because I really do feel for people like that, you know?
Right.
I'm like, how bad would my YouTube experience be if, like, let's say I just had a big old zit that I couldn't get rid of? Like, right? That would suck. If people would call me that, you know? Mm-hmm. So I think how lucky I am, and just want to do a better job in general.
Well, I mean, it just comes down to the fact that we all have strengths, we all have weaknesses, and some of those are based through skills and the lack thereof, and then some of those are based on things that none of us can change. You know, it's, if I complained every single day of the week that I'm not a hot 22-year-old female and that's the reason my success is not happening, then there's only so much money in surgeries that can potentially get to that.
Oh, hell yeah.
And I ain't willing to do that.
I like where this is going. The possibilities.
Are you?
I need to bully Zach more so he can become a woman. It'd be very.
Zack Snyder Productions just needs an attractive 22-year-old female. I'm turning 22 in January. What else can I do? No.
Oh, here we go. Very interesting.
Oh boy. My point is, you know, strengths and weaknesses, we all have them.
Right.
And so if you're that mean commenter, like, I'm willing to bet you got a lot of weaknesses too that you can't change.
Probably the biggest one being that you're insecure.
And you're a dick. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly. And then on the other side of those comments, if you're getting these comments all the time, look at your strengths and play the fuck out of them. Right. If your voice isn't the best, maybe you should try something a little bit different. Change it up a little bit.
Right.
You know, figure some ways out. You're smart enough if you've gotten that far, and with those mean comments, you can figure some other stuff out. And
indeed, there's always a workaround. It's never the end. Keep doing your passion. Keep doing what you love, and good things will always find their way in. I think. For the most
part. Agreed. I think so too. I think goodness is just so inherently the number one thing that's gonna.
I'm one of those people who don't think like we're all born evil or shit like that. You know.
Right.
At my most pessimistic, I think we're all born with a neutral state, and that depending on your environment and who you live with and all that, it can determine how you act and behave. But I definitely don't believe like, oh, everybody's just evil or some shit. Like there's good.
No.
There's good.
Yeah. If everybody was just evil, we'd all still be evil because it'd be very hard to learn from evil.
Exactly. I think so. But yeah, that's all I had to say about negative comments. I think what I want to get into now is just, you know, you kind of have a community in the comment section, right? You're building up a couple of fans here. When do I take the step to get myself a place where my community can hang out? And how do I do that? Like, what places do I go to? What websites? What little programs? Like, I don't just want my community to be in the comment section. What do I do?
Right. Well, for starters, start yesterday.
Right. Do it 2 days before. If you're wondering the win on this, it's right now.
Yeah.
It's last week. That's the win.
It's last week, exactly.
You need to be making sure you already have places for your community to hang out from day one. Because the earlier you set them up, the better opportunity they have to grow. And they can be a lot bigger than what they would have been if you had decided to wait out and be like, oh yeah, I don't like Skype, or oh yeah, I'm not a fan of Discord, or oh, Reddit sucks, I'm totally not doing that. You know, like, if you had been like, oh hey, this would be a cool place for them to hang out, then I guarantee your community would probably be a lot bigger. Sure.
And let's say you decide to, I don't know, make a new channel.
Right.
If you didn't have anybody you could talk to and be like, hey, I'm going to be posting out content to this channel now, except through like one update video that maybe some of your viewers will see, chances are not as many of them are going to go to this channel.
Exactly. So you need other avenues other than your comment section to communicate with fans, is what we're saying here.
Exactly.
Because it limits the type of conversations that you can have, and it limits a lot of the moves you can pull. And then on the fan side of things, it just gets a lot better for them in general. So,
right.
I think to start out, one thing that everybody should be doing is just being sure you have other social medias in which you can interact with fans on. So Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, an email list if you want to go old school. And I think that's a way.
Yeah.
Like if YouTube shuts down, you still have people to talk to.
I think an email list is still valuable in different ways. Website is still valuable, and I'm still trying to get those things set up.
Sure. We all are.
But yeah.
Snapchat or Instagram, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. I mean, having these different avenues of which people can find you on is so important, because you're not going to be on YouTube 24/7. You're not going to be spending all your time there. And if you are, then that's great. But
don't be putting
your viewers are not spending all of it there. Don't be putting exactly number one. That's yeah. Remember how we were talking about Twitch so heavily? It's because Twitch has some very high benefits that you could end up getting more viewers from, and then they'll, it just...
It's another place for your viewers to hang out, too, if they like that. So
exactly.
That's a possibility. But, you want to talk about the Big Poppy?
Ooh.
The best tool for community management?
I'll preface this with like a short story.
Okay, go ahead.
Because I think it's kind of funny, because I was a naysayer. About beginning of the year, sometime 2017,
right.
I was a strictly Skype user. I use Skype pretty much every day. I use it to talk to Damien. I use it to talk to Jay and a couple of other people in the Discord. I used it to do podcasts. I did it, or the Discord. You wonder where this is going.
In the Skype chat, you mean?
In the Skype chat, I used it to do podcasts, to do collabs. It was where I got to know a great deal of my YouTube friends back in the day. Most of them I don't talk to anymore because they, various reasons. Most of them just quit doing YouTube. I mean, and they don't stay online as much as they used to. But, and then somebody was like, you should go to Discord and do a Discord. And I was like, I actually heard about it before you.
Oh, yeah.
I heard about it briefly before you. And in fact, it was in a podcast chat with a group of like 20 people.
Mm-hmm. I remember those 20 people too, bitching about Discord.
Yep. They were bitching about Discord, and I had to like remove a couple people from the chat because it got so antagonistic and so attacking towards people.
Right.
They're like, you're stupid if you don't use Discord for blah. I was like, man, this is really selling me on this idea.
Right. I feel like that's why you were so pessimistic towards Discord in the first place, was this experience. Yeah. Like,
this experience, yeah.
Well, if all the people on Discord are like that, I don't need to be on it now, do I?
Exactly. And at this point, Discord had only been like, Discord was still like less than a year old or something like that, or maybe they were just a year old, or I don't know exactly.
And the marketing made it feel like it was just like a gaming only thing anyway. You know, it didn't feel like, oh, this isn't like for business or Skype or anything like that. Like, no, Skype's still the future. It's my community hub. I'll keep it here.
Skype is still very important. I still think Skype is important for certain things, business things specifically.
Right.
So if you're looking into YouTube as a atmosphere to grow your business, I still think you should have Skype for certain things, because not everybody is using Discord
yet. They're all like Zach, but they're unwilling.
But I finally had like a group of people that I started to trust more that was like, yeah, you should get on Discord. Aden was one of them, Jay was one of them, and then my best friend Damien got on there because of another YouTuber that he watched, and he was like, yeah, I use it for the text channels, and here's why it's good. And long and behold, now I'm really glad that I have it.
Exactly. We would be in such a different place right now if either me or Zach had not used Discord when we did.
Yeah.
We'd be in two totally different places.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's almost, especially if you're in the gaming atmosphere of things, like you should have a Discord no matter what. It's almost required now.
Right.
Especially if you're small.
Exactly.
And you want to, gain an audience and gain a community, really.
Sure.
Most of the, it's funny, a great bit of the views that I get come straight from Discord. Like, it's people clicking on the links in my videos tab or self-promo somewhere, whether it's my Discord or another one. And I mean, it's been such a big upside.
Sure.
It's like another notification system. That's what like a lot of these places are, is it's another notification system, along with the fact that you can talk with your viewers / fans so heavily, which is awesome.
My one thing, if you've listened to this entire podcast and haven't gotten a single thing out of it, my one takeaway from this entire deal, if you do not have something like a Discord, Skype, Facebook fan page, subreddit, website, whatever, if you do not have a quote-unquote community hub, you need to be doing that today.
Right.
After this podcast, during this podcast, whenever you need to. Because if you're small, you're going to get the opportunity to grow a lot quicker. And if you're big, you're going to give your community a lot more value by feeling like they're appreciated, by being able to talk to like-minded fans, by giving you quick feedback. So let's say you ask a question, in a video or on Twitter, it can take a pretty good while. But then in like a Facebook fan page where you have nothing but your fans, or in something like Discord where you can get instant responses, you can get feedback real quickly. So it's great for that as well. And then last but not least, Zach had kind of brought it up earlier, but you get to manage it. You have so much more leverage
when you're in a place where the majority of your fans go to somewhere you set up, as opposed to somewhere that some other fan had to set up, who maybe let things get out of control, who might have made sort of a toxic environment, who might have let things go too far. And now all of a sudden, a lot more people hate you simply because you didn't have your own little community hub and you decided to let someone else do it either. And that's the thing. Like, that's real impact, you know? And you didn't even technically do anything wrong, you know? But you still get affected by it. Because, like we mentioned earlier, your community is a reflection of you. So if your community is doing shitty things, if your community is in a toxic environment, if they're not treating people well with respect, then that's going to reflect back onto you, onto your brand, onto your channel, onto your views, onto your relationships with other YouTubers, and things like that. Having a bad, toxic community is just the worst. And it's something that I think will hurt you long term, possibly more than anything else. Maybe sub for sub ranks high up there in terms of damage you can be doing to your channel. Having a toxic fan base is one of those things. So that's why I say the big takeaway from this is get yourself something like a Discord or a Facebook fan page, because if it is toxic, then you have the chance to fix it and improve it. If it's not, then you have a chance to breed more positivity in the world, set up things like charities and other cool things and do more good, and then to also improve your own channel and to just improve the people who your community, just improve the lives of your community themselves. So get yourself something like a Discord, Facebook fan page immediately. I don't care how big you are.
Agreed. 100%.
Yep.
And it's one thing I've seen with like bigger YouTubers, which I don't know how I feel about this policy completely yet, but I understand it. Some of the bigger YouTubers will, because they have such a big community that wants to be in that Discord, they'll actually put it behind like a Patreon paywall or something, which
like a Twitch one.
I don't see. Yeah, like I don't see a big problem with it. So if that's something you want to do, if you're like big enough, maybe go for it. I don't know.
Right.
But I mean, long story short, you just gotta have it.
Yeah.
It's just so important, because what if one day YouTube, and we I don't like to talk about like the end of the world thing too much, because I do feel like we do that sometimes. What if YouTube just disappears? And I don't think YouTube, very big. I don't think it's going to happen in the next 5 years. Maybe not even the next 10 years. But long story short, if YouTube goes tomorrow, how many of your fans are you going to be able to get to move to like VidMe or BitChute or something like that?
Right.
You know, think about that. And maybe you do that through Twitter. Maybe you do that through Facebook. Maybe through Discord, or maybe it's a combination of all of them, which I think is what you should be doing. Right. Either way, it's the point here. Either way, if you don't have anything in place, should be number one priority.
Mm-hmm. And it's a good way too to be able to distinguish like who's kind of your hardcore group of fans as well. Because sometimes it can be hard to tell just through comments alone, especially when you have so many or so little of them. Getting a thing like a Discord or whatever, which keep in mind takes a while for people to join and set up and download or whatever.
It does.
You're really getting an opportunity to see like, all right, these are my faithful. These are my super loyal. These are the people that are going to the ends of the earth and whatever I watch or whatever. Or maybe they're just there to hang out. And you know what? That's cool too. You know, not everybody in your Discord has to watch your stuff. You know?
True.
It's a community hub. It's not necessarily a get-rich-quick platform, right?
True.
You
can't make money through Discord.
Right. I didn't turn Discord into a money machine or a slave-working factory to make my channel better. No, like... I did it as a way of giving back. I did it as a way to grow the community. I did it as a way as a breakthrough plan in case bad things happen. And, you know, I think it's so valuable to any content creator out there to get something up there like that on your platform of choice. To be honest, I like Discord more, but I know, you know, there's going to be the 30-year-old soccer mom who's watching her channel is like, I don't want to do Discord. Facebook it is. You know what? As long as you know where your audience is and they're okay with going and reacting over there, then more power to you. More power to you.
Which I like how you said like 30-year-old soccer mom, but guess what? Like if you're a 30-year-old doing like a family vlogging channel, Facebook is pretty good for that.
Right. Yeah, I'm saying where your audience is, right? Like
exactly,
like
trying
to affect.
Find out where that is for you and go for it. And I think another big thing about the community aspect in these places, especially on Discord, especially on Facebook, specifically is go search out for other communities that you're interested in.
Mm-hmm. Straight up, we mentioned
Be involved.
Get involved in other communities. Discord is a great way. I can't tell you how many times I look in self-promo and see like a link to someone else's Discord. I'm like, ooh, right? There's no harm in me checking it out.
What is this? Mm-hmm.
There's no harm in me looking.
And that doesn't mean you have to be active in every single Discord channel or server you're involved in.
I don't
because
have enough
trust
time in the
me,
world.
it's hard for me to stay active in my own Discord sometimes.
Sure.
But overall, I know that I can go meme it up with some people on Aden's Discord every once in a while and even be like, yo, I'm doing a live stream if anybody's interested. Never done it before. And like the general chat on his Discord earlier today was like, yo, I'm doing a live stream. Anybody interested? Found out that one of the people that watches my videos didn't even know that I live stream on YouTube and Twitch at the same time.
Hey, look at that.
So that
big.
was quite interesting. Yeah.
Pretty big.
But it's important stuff.
You know, we talked about opportunities that can happen in the comment section. Opportunities that can happen in your own Discord are also pretty big as well. I'll tell you, most of my YouTube watching, if it isn't like really popular channels, if I'm like wanting to look at someone more underground or whatever, you know, I don't have to go do it through YouTube anymore. I can look at my own self-promo section and be like, what are my fans posting, right? And sometimes it's really good shit, and sometimes I want to shout it out, and sometimes it's from people I've never even heard of before. Like, who are you? And I can check it out, right? It's a great way to sort of watch new channels and new people and people who are coming up, and chances are they have a Discord and you can join. It's also wonderful for networking. The amount of networking I've done with people who are now my friends and people who I just kind of know on a business standpoint and all that sort of stuff, and subscribers that I've gained through it, like unmatched. Discord by far is the number one like ROI related platform that I've just been able to get through networking, you know?
Oh, absolutely. Agreed 100%.
So that's been pretty huge, and that's probably the reason why Discord's been so valuable, and I'm glad I set it up early on. In fact, I didn't even set it up. I was so new to the platform that Patient was just like, yo, I'll make one for you. I'm like, okay. Or I think Patient made Sinnoh's, and then I kind of copied that or something like that. But, you know, like, that was worth it. I didn't think it was at the time. I totally thought, oh, yeah, this will be something that a couple of people will use, but most people won't. And then on most days, my my Discord ends up being more active than my YouTube, and I'm like, well,
some days my Discord is more active than any of my social medias combined, and I'm like, what is going on?
Right.
Like, what have I created? And it's weird because I never would, you never would expect that. You get like 2 comments in a week on YouTube, and then all of a sudden, like, you've got 100 unread shit in your Discord that you didn't even know was going on because you took an hour-long nap. It's amazing.
Sure.
Like, you want community engagement? Boom.
Discord right there.
Like,
it's
there you go.
Promoting your own stuff. It's great for other people to promote in there. It's great to hang around. It's great for creative projects, collabs, networking, shit like that. It's basically an all-stop forum, if you will. You know, it's a little forum for all your people to get behind. And this should go without saying, but you should try to be in it as much as you can, I feel.
I mean, I have mine up on my computer at all times. I have the mobile app.
Sure.
When I'm at work, I have the web browser popped up, and I'm, just constantly in there.
It should be fairly obvious to people that you should do that. But in case you thought I could just leave it open and not put any work in, no, people will leave eventually. You do have to say something sometimes.
Yeah.
Or hope that your community is strong enough to carry it on its own while you're gone. And That's definitely a thing. There's a lot of dead Discords out there, and it's not.
I'm a part of a few of them.
Sometimes,
there's
a balance you have to strike.
Yeah, and I think in those terms, it's just making sure that you have interesting things to talk about every once in a while. Ask for feedback. Like if you just ask for feedback, it'll open up other things. There's something interesting in the news, like, and I'm not talking about like boring news necessarily. I'm just like this new game came out. What do you guys think about this? Are you interested in, like, literally a lot of that happens, and you'll be amazed at how many people contribute to conversations.
Yeah, it's a fun way to just
people like to talk
and have fun.
Yeah, people like to talk. People like to hang out with friends and stuff, and that's basically what this is.
You get to know a lot more about people too through DMs and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And that's why it's great at networking. Is just because you can DM people. The amount of business you can get done in the Discord DM. Oh boy, shit's popping on there.
Yeah, it's amazing how many people that are on my Discord right now that I used to talk to through YouTube discussion on, through like not even comments, but YouTube discussion. So it'd be like once every 2 months I'd get a comment back because we always forgot about it. And for some reason, these people weren't on Skype that often or whatever, but now they're on Discord and I talk to them multiple times a day.
Sure.
Like it's amazing that way.
I think it's also great too for people who do more longer content that can take sometimes months to produce, For channels like that who take so long to making one video, but once it comes out, it's amazing. Discord's cool, especially because that's the only way people hear from you, right? That's the only way people know that you're even alive sometimes is through Discord.
That's a great point.
So if you're having kind of like a dead period where not much is going on, or if you're still working on a video that everybody's looking forward to, Discord's a great way to not only promote it when it comes out, but keep people active while you're still waiting and hyping them up and doing all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say, you can hype that shit up too.
If you're a channel like that, especially, I think Discord and fan communities like that offer so much because, sometimes they might not be following you on Twitter. Sometimes, if you're doing a Kickstarter game, they might not just read the updates or Patreon or stuff like that. Having a little fan community can help keep projects alive, even when you don't think they would, right? Like, very valuable stuff, I think.
Yeah, because as a content creator, because it's interesting, right? Because as a content creator, we're like, juggle these 20 social media accounts and make content, and it's hard, but we have to do it to keep afloat. But as an average person, not everybody is on these 20 different platforms.
Right.
And that's okay. That's why you want to have as many platforms as you can so you can reach everybody.
Sure. As many as possible, anyway.
Yeah, true. Because there will be some people that just watch your videos every once in a while and you'll never know who they are because they never say anything to you. And that's okay.
Sure. And again, just from not even a numbers game, but from like a friendship perspective, so many people that I've met, so many people that I've gotten in touch with, people who might not even watch my videos, but sort of like what I do, and people that I've talked to and helped out through bad times and bad situations through Discord, like shit like that, you can't put a price tag on at all. I mean, like, these moments like that, I think, are what make it all worth it. And, I'm glad I have good moderators on there too when things hit the shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if tomorrow I, for some reason, decided I can't do this whole content creating thing, like, if anything, I know I've got some very good friends.
Sure. Help you
and that's so much more valuable,
I agree. Agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
You just got to be ready for that stuff. And, I mean, like, what more can I say? There's going to be people who listen to this and just ignore community management as a whole. And you know what? I think a lot of those people are just going to lose long term. And I'm not.
Oh, I agree.
I'm not going to feel bad for them because we've spent probably too much time talking about all the great parts of a community and why you should be building one, not only for just yourself, but for the people who are involved as well. And one day I do hope to do, like Zach mentioned, and do things like charity live streams and giving back to just the world as a whole and not just myself. You know, when I get to the point where I'm that big, that's going to be a special day. That's going to be an amazing day. And
definitely.
Yeah. I mean, like, you hear it all the time on my channel, how every time I reach like a certain subscriber milestone, I'm like, oh, thank you guys so much. And you all probably hear it from so many YouTubers every time they hit a milestone. Oh, you guys are the best. You're the best fans. Whatever. And I know it's very cliche. It's very overplayed. Everybody and their mother does it. But here's the thing. I actually mean it, and I'm willing to back it up via the things I do in community management, like answering comments, typing things in Discord, being genuine about what I say, letting people decide things on my channel simply by whether or not they want to watch it or not. Like, you know, call me hokey and cheesy all you want, but when I say my fans are amazing and when I say they've done so much good stuff for me, I 100% mean it. I really do.
Definitely.
Which is why I repeat it so damn much.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta bash it in their heads, you know? If they don't understand it the first million times, it's
the second
next million times they'll really get through it. Yeah.
Sure. But yeah, if you don't care, fine, don't care. Continue to put out videos and continue to wonder why people don't care about them, you know?
I mean, it's like the only reason why somebody would be like, oh, I can't do community management is because I don't have enough time to do it because I'm working so hard on my videos. Like, we've already disproved that a little bit by use the 20-minute dump that you take every single night in the bathroom. Like, if you commute to work like through a subway or something because you're in a big city, you've got tons of time there.
Exactly.
Well, because here's something interesting, and then we can start wrapping it up.
Okay.
Get to the comments here. But like, I was in Japan for an entire month.
Yeah.
For a school class, and I couldn't upload videos.
You could record.
I could record, but I couldn't upload. There was just no time for me to do the editing and stuff. I was too exhausted by the time I got it in the bed, you know, that night and everything. And so I couldn't do anything there. I just saw my watch time go down, and it was what it was. But here's the amazing thing was, since I was in Japan and I was riding subways a lot and trains, and there was the 14-hour plane ride on the way there and the way back, the times I took, you know, I was in the bathroom, times I was waiting in a restaurant for food. Like, I spent so much of that time on Instagram, getting my Instagram account started up and posting pictures there, or being in the Discord and chatting with people, or, you know, being on Twitter, promoting a couple of my older stuff, getting on Reddit. Like, I learned so much about the fact that, hey, I can still have an active community even though I'm not there all the time making videos.
And I would argue that month was one of your more active months, just simply like, you couldn't do YouTube, but you could do practically everything else. And when you complain about time, it's just simply a matter of being in the right mindset to make more time appear, and you'll be amazed at like, oh wow, there's actually a lot of time. I just am not spending it well. And look, time management is a skill that we're all horrible at to start, but we get better and better. If you make an effort, you'll get better and better. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So if you make an effort to interact with the community, you'll get better and better at it. Don't worry if you're shy. Don't worry if you're an introvert. Don't worry if you, on some days, really don't feel like talking to people. You know, we're human, obviously. Shit like that happens all the time. But you will get better, you know. And chances are, a lot of people watching your stuff probably enjoy your shy awkwardness anyway and want to see more of it. So exactly. You know? Weirdly enough. Exactly. Yeah. And the last thing I wanted to do before we end it is I wanted to quickly thank all the lovely moderators, and I wanted to just give a little respect to all the people who have to deal with community management, whether they're in a big company like EA or, you know, they might be like a community management person for, you know, a book they're writing or shit like that, or if you're just like me and you just have like a tiny little Discord that you have to manage. Community management is a job that does not get a ton of respect. It doesn't get a ton of love. You're not rewarded for it constantly. It's not something that's sexy. It's not like you're the creative or you're the director or whatever. But do not be misinformed. You are the most important and special people involved when it comes to a project. And without your work and without your love and dedication to managing communities, I guarantee you there would be a lot more shitty stuff out there. And there'd be a lot more awful people out there if it weren't for you guys.
Oh, for sure.
So if you're in community management, thank you so much for all you do. And in my community in particular, I want to just quickly thank a couple of people who have sort of made it all happen. People like Sino Green, Danku Franku, High Legend, Mr. Butternut, Jay, yourself, obviously. You've been a huge part of it from the beginning. People like Kyle, who just recently started commenting, but I figured I'd go ahead and shout him out anyway. And most importantly, I think the person that has helped me through the most of this stuff and has been there when times have gotten really rough, thank you so much to Patient. Honestly, thank you so much for keeping the Discord running, for doing all the boring stuff like fixing categories and names, leaving long ass comments, being there in Twitch chat when things get wrong, being there in YouTube chat when things get wrong, leaving really nice tweets, and just, I mean, I'm gonna be honest, she's been like my right hand man, woman thing.
Woman.
My right hand person, if you will. And
yeah,
I appreciate so much all of what she does. So huge shout out to Patient, and yeah, you're all great. All the fans watching this podcast are great. And in just a second, we'll be getting to reading your comments. But did you want to shout out a couple of people?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously, second on all the community managers out there, because I think we both know firsthand, shit's hard.
Right.
It takes a lot of time out of your day where, there's plenty of, it's funny, right? There's plenty of nights where I could have been working on a video, could have been editing something, and instead I was in my Discord in a voice chat being dumb at 3 to 7 o'clock in the morning. And I'm glad I did that. It's not wasted time because it's still productivity. It's still being in your community, and it's fun and it's enjoyable. And obviously I wouldn't have that community if it wasn't for people like you and like Jay, like Parker, like Damien, Marjak, Kyle, Donovan. Some of these people have been around for years and some of them just for the past year, but either way, they've definitely, boosted my spirits in many ways. Whenever I'm doubting, the paths that I've taken, I know that I can just kind of go in there and
have somebody
kind of get it. Yeah, somebody to listen and maybe even just a little bit of validation.
Right.
Never hurts sometimes,
Somebody who's got your back and is looking out for you.
Right.
It feels nice. So,
right.
To all those people, thank you for providing value to us, and I hope we have done the same to you.
Same. Yeah, exactly. For sure. I love the various kill yourself comments that I get from Jay, because it just it's great. It's great.
Really lightens
like
your mood.
When he tells me to quit YouTube, it makes me think how ridiculous that actually is, and then I don't quit YouTube. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah. But speaking of community management,
community management,
don't we have some comments to answer?
I think we have some comments to answer.
Oh boy!
And I think it's been nice. I've gotten a few comments lately, which is really cool. I'm glad to see you guys are involved. You're interested in learning, and it's been some newbies. Some people that are just now getting into YouTube and trying to learn the ropes, which is really cool.
Exactly.
Because that's what I like to see. Hopefully we're able to bring value to everybody.
Yeah.
But I hope we're bringing the most value to the people that are just kind of starting, because
listening to this 3-hour podcast.
Ooh, we're almost at that 3-hour mark.
Oh really? Wow.
We're almost at that 3-hour mark. 2 hours and 58 seconds.
Damn.
Or 58 minutes. What am I talking about?
We actually made it longer than the previous one, which is crazy.
Yeah. I feel like we talked a lot more about our week at the beginning.
Fair enough.
But I still think there was a lot of valuable stuff there.
Sure. I agree.
So I think it's some good stuff. Now that I've stalled because I didn't have the comments pulled up.
I see.
Trying to buy time.
I want to go ahead and answer the first comment, which is from Sam and her brothers Lopez, and it says, "Do you have a list of free editing tools for thumbnails, videos, and stuff? I know you mentioned them in the podcast, but if you have links up somewhere, I'd like to know." I left a brief little comment, but I felt like we should answer this in the in the podcast so more people could hear, just in case they missed it in other episodes or such.
Mm-hmm.
But I will be setting up. I hope to have a website up soon that will have all this information in a nice little list with links to everything.
Sure.
So you guys know exactly what we use or what we could be using if we need to go for some more free stuff or whatever it is. But what do you use for? I know exactly what you use for photo editing, and it's free. So
right.
So the good people, what that is.
The program I use for photo editing, as well as for things like thumbnails or social media images or just wacky random stuff in general, is GIMP. It's free.
Mm-hmm.
It has a lot of the same tools that Photoshop does. Obviously, there's a little bit less there. And you're going to have to learn a good bit of the software and how it works. But there's a billion little tutorials out there. But yeah, GIMP is what I recommend wholeheartedly. It's great for starting out. It's great for simple photo stuff and even more complex stuff if you're willing to learn it. But yeah, GIMP, GIMP. You can search that and you can download it, and it's free. And once you start learning it, you can be making the thumbnails and all sorts of cool stuff.
That's right.
And then as far as audio recording goes, this is another free program that just practically every YouTuber under the sun uses, I feel like, in one form or another. The program we use to record audio is Audacity. You can not only record audio there, but do a lot of editing just right there. You can cut, you can do a little bit of audio editing in there, just all sorts of fun stuff. But it's also free. Mm-hmm. It's called Audacity, AUDACITY. Pretty helpful there. And then the main one after that, after you get your audio and your photos, as far as video recording programs go, the one I use is OBS. Shouldn't have to spell that one out. It's literally just OB and S. But I use that.
Which you can also use for streaming.
Yeah, you can use that for streaming. You can use that for recording videos, all sorts of stuff. Typically, OBS is fine-tuned with a lot of features and settings. Can be a little tough to learn, not going to lie. But once you do, you can get streaming and video recording out of it. Bandicam is also an option. Hypercam is also an option. Your phone typically is the best option if you have one, and if it's good enough. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And then for video editing, there's free options and paid options, but I'm going to let Zach talk about those.
Yeah, so for video editing, if you are a Windows user, which you should be, because Mac is not the way to go. Sorry, a little personal bias there. But if you're a Windows user, Windows Movie Maker, which we've all used in some form or another, probably.
Right, I have.
I remember using it in elementary school. Windows Movie Maker still does wonders if you're doing simple, quick edits and stuff. If you're a vlogging channel, if you're a gameplay channel, Windows Movie Maker is going to do you right.
Yeah, simple.
Same thing with on Macs. If you use iMovie, it's pretty much Windows Movie Maker for Macs.
And I know iPhones
obviously
have a ton of apps and shit that you can just use for free for video editing too. So you could edit a lot of stuff off your phone.
They do. Android's the same.
Right.
There's a lot of. By the way, I'm going to talk about Adobe programs. Adobe has free, easy editing apps for your phone. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure that's the case. And so you can get some high quality stuff done that way. It's all simple edits, but for free. I mean, that's what you need right there.
Exactly.
And then if you want to get into paying for money, if you think it's paying for money, boy,
give me money.
Can you tell I'm tired?
A little bit.
Can you tell? Just a little bit? Okay.
A little bit.
If you want to start getting into like paid options, I still highly suggest getting the Adobe Creative Cloud. I wished I was an affiliate, but I'm not. Basically, it's $30 a month if you're a student. It's $50 a month if you're not a student. There's only 2 options there. But it's very valuable because you get not only Adobe Premiere, the editing software, but you also get Photoshop, you get Audition, which is for audio, you get Lightroom, which is for enhanced photography. You get a lot of different apps that you can use for a lot of different creative projects that maybe you won't use all of them, but maybe at one point you'll get some people on your team that could use some of this stuff.
And you use
I think if you
Photoshop.
Yes.
For video and stuff.
Right. And I use Audition for audio editing and stuff too. So
cool.
It's all very valuable. And
as far as what I do for editing, I use Vegas. Another option is Camtasia Studio is pretty good, but it is definitely the most expensive out of all of them for some weird reason. And you get pretty good
I think that's the problem is you also get the recording option there.
Sure.
Which is good.
This is good.
I used it for a while.
Exactly.
I totally paid for that.
And I'm just saying, if you ain't got the funds and you don't mind being a little legally gray, you're like an anti-hero. You're like Batman. You don't follow the rules, right? Like
be a Deadpool. There you go.
Exactly. That's more of a fine analogy because Batman would never torrent. I feel like he's not a torrenting guy.
He's not a torrenting guy. Yeah. He'd go catch the torrenter. The bad guy. Right. That's actually just a middle school and a high school kid.
Sure.
Yeah.
But torrents are out there if you're interested. Not saying I do that, but it's there.
Not at all. No, I think the important thing is find something that you can use
and learn it.
And then if you feel like, hey, this is the path I want to take, then, investing time and money into something that you feel strongly about is not a bad thing. Because in the long run, $30 to $50 a month, if you've got a decent paying job, if you're able to pay the bills fairly well, and you can, not go out to eat a couple nights a week, instead pay for Adobe Creative Cloud or something like that.
Right.
Like that might be very valuable to you.
Exactly.
I feel like
you kind of want to give back and support the programs you've been using.
Right.
A little bit.
Because I really feel like the more I've had Adobe Creative Cloud, the more I've had Adobe Premiere specifically, the better my videos have gotten because I've been able to do more stuff.
Sure.
Like it just allows me to do more things creatively.
Right.
That's always a good thing.
Too, and learning about other programs. Just because you have one that you use doesn't mean you can't expand. I mean, I've thought about Premiere several times, and I'm probably going to hop on it eventually. But for now, Vegas is what I'm comfortable with, and that's what I'll use in the meantime.
Right.
But that's as far as software goes. We could do a whole nother episode about hardware. In fact, I was thinking, Christmas time is going to be rolling around. There's going to be a lot of people who want to get into the content creation game. Maybe only have a little bit of money. We might do like a little wish list, a little YouTuber wish list.
Your boy might be getting that Amazon affiliate program back. Hit you guys up with a little bit of links.
Exactly. You can be Santa
Helps
Claus.
The channel.
The ugly elf.
Are you calling me fat?
I feel like I got some leverage with the ugly elf comments. You wouldn't have noticed that, but you did surprisingly. So
shit. I'm not supposed to let people know I give a fuck about mean comments.
You're a hypocrite. But thank you for the comments. Hopefully that helps. And Zach
for sure. Yeah, for sure.
I won't, but Zach will.
I won't. This is why the podcast is on my channel.
Exactly. Although there's links to my stuff, which if you want to look at, you can.
There is.
But
I mean,
if you want to join my community, you can.
Feel free.
Right.
It's in there. So the next question comes from Tiffany Alexander, which I believe is the mother to the channel that we just talked to.
Oh, really?
I did a little digging after the first time we recorded this. And so the comment says, more, I really enjoy the podcast. I like how long they are. I work graveyard, so I'm always looking for more podcasts. So first off, thank you so much for spending your graveyard shifts listening to us.
Right.
Like, that's awesome.
Sure.
And she continues and says, I'm starting a YouTube channel for my kids. Probably not your guys' thing. So you got into a little bit when you talked about evil Spider-Man. But I would love to know what tips or suggestions you guys have. If none, that's cool. I'll still keep listening.
Thanks for general supporting.
Absolutely. Thank you for the support. We do appreciate it.
And while I might not have a ton of stuff, someone's been getting into the kids' channels, you know?
I'm loving the 24-hour finger puppet live streams. Those are my favorite.
Really? Those are a thing?
Those are a thing.
Oh, yes.
I know a little bit about kids' channels for a couple of reasons. There's a couple of people that I've kind of communicated with in the past few months that kind of host kids' channels or are affiliated with kids' channels in some way or another. Mm-hmm. So I've gotten to hear a little bit about that and how that works. And then I've just kind of done a little bit of research because I'm like, why are these kids channels getting so many views? What can I do that I haven't already done? And then I learned I can't do anything different because these are kids channels and there's a completely different mindset around it.
Right.
So I was like, what if I did a kids Let's Playing channel and then I did like one video? I was like, no, this is not for me. Got me a little Elmo picture for the profile picture is great. Mm-hmm. I was like, nope, this is not for me.
Oh well.
But long story short, I found out some basically how kids channels are working, and the core basis behind them are you want to find content that's easily digestible for children to watch in long spurts. Mm-hmm. And since there are so many parents these days that put a screen in front of their kids, and part of it happened to us when we were a kid, they put TV in front of us.
Yep.
It's just Cartoon this Network. Time. Yeah.
Parent number 3.
Just this time, we exactly. We have the internet, we have iPads, we have cell phones, we have, the World Wide Web that has so many more opportunities for content for kids. And one of the big things is YouTube. There's even an app called YouTube Kids,
right,
which is why I don't think restricted mode should be a thing. But anyways.
Right. By the way, quick question.
Mm-hmm.
At what age did you get a smartphone?
I got a flip phone in 7th grade.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got a smartphone my senior year of high school, and I bought it for $40 at Walmart.
Yeah.
It was a really bad smartphone. And then I got the same model about a year and a half later for $40 at Walmart. And then finally went and got a $200 Android HTC a little over a year ago.
I feel you.
Yeah. What about you?
I'm very similar. I didn't have a phone until 8th grade. And then the one I got was not even a smartphone at all. It was this little blue phone, which basically you could call and play a little game on it, and then that was basically it. It didn't do much at all. I believe it had a paid version of Tetris you could do eventually.
Yeah.
But nothing amazing on there. The first smartphone I got wasn't until I think sophomore year of high school, and it was a hand-me-down from one of my mom's phones because her work had got her a new one. So she got a 6 or whatever, and she's like, "Oh, you can have my 4." And I thought the 4
mine was a hand-me-down.
I thought that was the coolest. And then eventually she dropped her 6 on the ground and the screen cracked. So she had to get a new one. But in the meantime, she's like, "Hey, you want this cracked iPhone 6?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's got a better camera on it. Of course I want it."
Of course.
I'm a YouTuber. As long as the camera is still working. She's like, "Yeah, it still works." I'm like, "Okay, cool." And to this very day, every time my birthday comes around, she's like, "Hey, don't you want to pay to get that screen fixed?" And I'm like, "Yeah, how much is it?" "About $100 or so." Nope.
No, I think I'll just stick with what I got here.
Stick with the broken screen. So every phone I've had, except for that blue one, has essentially been a hand-me-down in one form or another. But I think that's interesting now because I bet we have a couple listening to this podcast who got it way earlier than we did. But we're a different generation.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
If I had been born a couple years later, I feel like it would have been different.
Who?
It was the same for my brother.
Yeah.
I know he was only a year and a half, and it took him, I think, junior high or high school to get a phone. Just a tangent, though. Anyway.
Yeah, a little tangent. It's interesting, though. It just shows how, kids have iPhones now, and it's amazing to me. Mm-hmm. It blows my mind that they have so much. They have a mini computer in their pocket, right. And Like, I had to beg to my dad on weekends to go use the computer to research nerdy shit because that's what I was into.
Sure.
And now kids have little phones so they can just go look up anything they want.
I mean, I didn't discover YouTube till middle school, and it wasn't a YouTube Kids.
Yeah,
it
same.
was funny random Lil XD videos, game trailers, and a couple of the early Let's Players. And that was all I had. That was my experience of a kid's quote-unquote YouTube.
I get that, yeah.
Right. So different world now.
Much different world. The fact that YouTube plays such a big part in kids' entertainment now says something about the platform and about the people that use it.
Right.
So again, the reason these channels are so big is because watch time reigns supreme on YouTube. And if you leave a kid idle for 8 hours on YouTube Kids, that's all the content they're watching. Whether they're asleep or watching or anything, it's still playing. That watch time still adds up.
Exactly.
So, like, the step number one to making a channel for YouTube for kids is to find something that is digestible, that can be watched in succession with other videos like it. Think of it as your like cartoon marathons or something like that. And I would suggest, here's the big kicker that not a lot of people are doing. Find something that's somewhat original that can kind of last for a while and not just be seen as kids content, but can be respected by adults as well.
Exactly. And that's the big thing with like just kids media in general, is that a lot of people, even on TV, this isn't just a YouTube problem. A lot of people see the term kids entertainment and think, oh, lowest of the low, dumbest of the dumb, freaking Teletubbies, loud noises, fart jokes, the lowest of the low, whatever, fine.
Right.
And you know what? That can do recently successful. I mean, it's the reason there's like a couple of Minions movies now because of it. That's the world we live in. I'm not going to lie that it's totally successful.
That's true.
The thing about kids media, though, is that it can be so impactful and it can leave such a great lasting impact on the kids who watch it. I know some of the media that I enjoy the most and some of the media I'm most attached to is some of the stuff I watched as a kid. And you know what? A lot of it is stuff that I can still watch today. Good kids media, I feel, can be respected not only by kids at the time, but for their parents watching it. And when those kids get older, they can still come back and see it. It's the reason all of us have such a nostalgic attachment with Disney movies, because we were shown them as a kid. And, you know, while we may have liked the characters back then, nowadays we can appreciate things like the animation, the soundtrack, the lessons learned, the morals, and all sorts of stuff, right? So I think when you're coming up with the kids channel, it's very easy to get the misconception that, oh, I should just make really, really dumb content. I would say if you don't enjoy and like the videos you're putting out, then you probably shouldn't put them out. Just being honest. Even if you think it'll do well, and even if you think, oh, kids will eat this up, if you're not personally proud of the videos that you're putting out, then I wouldn't want to show them to my kids. I'll tell you that much. Right? Like,
Agreed.
There's a reason I'm not going to show my kids the 2 CGI Garfield movies or Minions or fucking other trash that exists nowadays.
Garfield CGI, come on.
They're both bad movies. I don't know if you've watched them in a while, but they have not held up remarkably
It's been a while. It's been a long time.
Sure. But I'm not going to show that stuff to my kids. And the same thing for YouTube. If there's some trash YouTube stuff for kids, I'm probably not going to show them that. So when you're making kids content, it's the same as making quality content, right? Be sure it's something that's valuable. Be sure it's something that's entertaining. And, you know, obviously have it be easily digestible. You know, that part's still important. I think Zach's 100% correct on this. But make content you're proud of. And make content that can appeal to both kids and adults. It's a hard thing to do. And it's the reason that there isn't a whole lot of good kids entertainment out there, right? Like, there's obviously way more shit than there is good. But the good stuff has such a big impact. And the good stuff can, you know, potentially help out a generation of kids do wonderful things in the future. Like, that stuff is so valuable when done correctly. So I'd look out for that. I try to do things like that personally. And if you can manage to, man, you're set. There's a lot more reward there, I feel.
Well, here's the way I look at it. You know, when you look at like a Disney animated film from 1943,
Right.
What year?
What movie was that? Did they even come out?
I don't know. I just picked a number. It's close to like when Snow White came out, I think. But like when you pick like a Disney animated film from like the 40s or the 50s, like people still watch those. People still enjoy this, and it isn't just kids. It's families. It's adults.
Right.
And the biggest thing is Disney's still making money off of that. Disney still has royalties on that. So it's like people still, Disney still builds hype culture around some of these movies with their Disney Vault and stuff.
Right.
The thing I'm getting to here is, sure, you could make 1,000 videos for kids entertainment on YouTube, figuring out ways to get the algorithm to work around it. And you've got a channel with 20 million subscribers just for kids, and you've got a lot of views and a lot of watch time, and maybe you make a decent amount of ad revenue from it, and there you go. You feel like you're set. Well, for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years until YouTube changes their algorithm, or until YouTube looks at Netflix and they're like, well, Netflix has a kids section as well. We already have a kids section, but what if we started, I don't know, taking YouTube Red and do some similar things with the kids section?
Right.
We have YouTube Red kids shows that are highly produced, like a PBS, like a public broadcasting, kids show that already is not getting that much money thrown at them anyways. What if YouTube starts paying these people to like make cartoons on their platform? Mm-hmm. Then your shit's just going to be thrown to the side.
Right.
Because it's going to be more popular.
Exactly.
And so
100%.
You become one of those people that make good kids content, then you might be able to get on that platform a lot earlier, or you might be able to get more people to move over to your platform one day, or maybe you'll get a big show on TV or whatever it is,
I think James from Extra Credits said it best, is the only difference between kids and adults is that kids have a lot less experience, right? They have a lot less world experience. But aside from that, I mean, they're fairly similar, right? Kids can watch scary things. Kids can be frightened. Kids can laugh. Kids can understand deep little morals if they're explained correctly, or if they have a character that they can relate to. It can get them.
That's why VeggieTales does so well.
Right. It can get them through tough times. It can help them explain things. They can appreciate some deeper moments. Like, kids aren't stupid, right? They're not idiots. They're just simply with less experience, and they don't necessarily know everything, but eventually they will. And the stuff that's good and the stuff that is entertaining for everybody, including kids, that's the stuff that's going to stand around forever. There's a reason people are sentimental to things like Bob Ross and the old PBS shows and, stuff from their childhood, because it gave a damn.
Exactly.
And because it respected its audience. And if you respect your audience, whether or not it's successful or not, I feel like you'll have succeeded in my book, If you can make something that you're proud of and you enjoy and that you've put a lot of work into, regardless of whether it does well or not, I'll be personally proud. Let me just say that much, because again, not a lot of good kid stuff out there.
Agreed. 100%. And I mean, I feel like we could probably try to come up with some suggestions for you specifically, but we don't know your personal story. We don't know exactly what you want to do with your channel. And feel free, by the way, give me some more comments. I'll try to get into like a personal chat and we can talk, and maybe I can help you get some stuff started. And who knows, maybe maybe we could push you in the right direction. But I think at the end of the day, what's important is just find the things that you enjoy and that you want to share with your kids.
All right. Real quick though.
Work on that.
What if she what if it's one of those things where she has like her own kids in the videos? Because I feel like there's a bit of territory there.
Right. So that's important. In the current state of YouTube, where a lot of families are starting to do videos together, they're starting to put their kids in channels or in videos. Safety can be an issue. Your kids can be recognized more, and that could be a a safety issue for them at school, because maybe if, who knows, your channel gets big, then people will recognize you. People will recognize your kids, and that in many aspects could be both a good thing and a bad thing. So keep that in mind. There are ways, of course, to work around that kind of thing. I think if one of the prime examples that I like to use when this comes up is if you look at Casey Neistat, a big vlogger, got 7 million subscribers. He had a baby about 2-3 years ago, had his baby up in his videos all the time. And then she turned to about that 2.5 year old stage where you could start recognizing this child as a person. Mm-hmm. And he was like, I think we're going to keep her face out of videos from this point onwards, just in case.
Right. And I think that's respectable.
So, yeah, I think it's completely respectable. So keep those in mind. That doesn't mean be scared that everybody's out to get your children. Of course not. Yeah, that doesn't mean become a conspiracy theory. Basically. Just be careful what you show. Make sure that that's not your entire life. Make sure that it's just a fraction of your life.
Because there are more and more families who vlog all the damn time, and it's ruining relationships and families.
Yeah.
Or you could have a Daddy 05 scenario and have your kids legally removed from you because you're an asshole.
That was a mess.
So hopefully you're not that.
Don't be an asshole. That'll be good. Gary Vaynerchuk said it best one day. Somebody had asked him, how much of your life do you actually vlog? And he was like, maybe 5% of my life. And he does a lot of vlogs. He does a lot of content. But he's like, that's just like 5% of my life because, every time I'm with family, none of that gets vlogged or whatever it is, Mm. So, keep things, maybe you get together with a group of mothers and parents and stuff, and you decide to do a group family vlogging channel, and certain days it's certain content. If that's the route you're trying to go, or maybe it's even, I want to create this entire whole movie catalog, and it's easier to do that on YouTube than it is to make VHS tapes or DVDs these days. So
just make sure they're having fun.
Just upload them here and make they're private,
You're having fun, and it's not something that comes between you guys. And hey, there's not a whole lot of family channels that sometimes just don't have kids and it's just personal, like a mother advice or stuff like that. I feel like that's a pretty untapped market. So don't feel reliant on your kids.
Yeah.
Don't feel like you have to include them in every video if that's a thing.
Agreed.
Just whatever you do, put out value and just make sure you're safe. We think you are, honestly. We're not saying that you're that kind of person.
Absolutely.
We think you are. But for anybody else listening who's thinking about doing a similar thing, that's just for them.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah. Again, first and foremost, just make sure that you're doing it for you and you're enjoying it.
Sure.
Because I'm telling you, I played a Sesame Street Flash game at 3 o'clock in the morning, recorded a video, edited it, 7 minutes, uploaded it. It's not for me. yeah, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
and then just watch all our podcasts.
And then just watch all our podcasts, give you all everything here for free.
Yeah, spicy information. That's where all the good tips are at.
Oh, yeah.
I'm joking.
Absolutely.
But thank you for the question.
Oh, man. Yeah, definitely. So the next question comes from Patient.
Yay.
Ready for this paragraph?
I'm ready. Bring it on.
She says, I do drugs over sub for sub.
Same.
Yeah. Agreed.
That's respectable.
Yeah. Yeah. No sub for sub. Right. Do drugs instead. I'm thinking, yeah.
Heroin
Just go big or go home. Heroin.
Kill you.
Exactly.
But it can't kill your channel. So.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, what are you going to do?
It's just, yeah.
Is crack really whack?
Heroin. Is crack really whack? Speaking of making content for kids here, untapped market. Drug promotional videos aimed towards children.
There's a lot of weed stuff already.
Weed is for the basic people, though. Right. You want to go big or go home. Heroin, I'm telling you. If If you want to talk something that's really bad, like it's always heroin is the number one worst thing that your child could be doing.
Right. That's the hard drug, dark humor joke that everybody does. Like, you got to bring up heroin.
Like crack is bad, yes, but it's not as bad as heroin. Oh man. Anyways, last question comes from Calfro, and he says, "How do I get on this podcast? I want to chat it up with you guys."
Ooh, good question.
Yeah, it is a good question. So I kind of answered it briefly, just so he knew that Senpai noticed him.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, if you or anybody you know wants to be on the podcast, or you think somebody would be cool to be on this podcast, because they're a creator, or maybe they just have some kind of information that we don't know, or whatever it could be,
right?
Let us know in the comments, and we'll get to talking. Maybe there's a certain topic you're particularly strong at, or maybe you have just like a lot of questions you really want answered.
Sure.
We would love to have you on here. It'd be awesome.
We might do like an interview type thing. We might be talking about like news stuff that's going on, whatever's happening. Because here's the thing: eventually, we're gonna run out of like all the essential stuff to talk about, and the rest of this podcast will sort of just be like other people's perspectives and news and other things that come along the way. So we really do hope to start getting guests in the future, and as well as do live streams where we're answering your guys' questions. The thing is, like, there's still a couple more things that we have to cover that are kind of really important. Things like a live streaming episode, things like actually a marketing episode. We might actually get somebody for that.
Marketing, hardware, SEO. There's still a lot of big major topics that we haven't quite gone over, and those are because some of these are going to be a little bit more boring. Some of these we don't know as much about, so we're still trying to learn it. Maybe we need to get somebody, like Aden said, to come on here with us. So again, if there's a topic that you know more about, like, let us know. If you think you're the hottest shit on the marketing planet, we could use you.
Yeah. We could do a whole podcast about kids stuff, like whatever. I'm down to.
We could, yeah. Exactly.
But just let us know either.
Not the Jared Leto kind.
Oh yeah.
Not the Jared Leto kind.
That's wrong.
No, I'm thinking that's more of a Ronald McDonald friendly kind. Yeah.
Yeah. Let us know in the comments or wherever social media platform you listen to, iTunes, Google Play, whatever. Let us know. We'd love to have you on.
Definitely.
And you don't even have to be like
it'd be cool,
big or anything. You know, you don't have to be huge. You just have to have something to talk about, and you kind of want to be on.
The best way to really get my attention is in comments or email me at zacksnyderproductions@gmail.com.
Sure.
And we can get to talking. Hook you up.
Yeah.
Hook us up.
Hook everybody up.
But yeah, it'll be good. Get some heroin, have a nice night, nice evening.
Nice drug-related podcast.
Yeah, that's the next podcast that's coming to the network, by the way.
Yeah. Another
drug
podcast.
Another drug podcast. The goal is, have a topic, talk about it as sober, and then do that drug, and then talk about the same topic and see what we feel. Would that not be interesting?
That would be a quote-unquote social experiment that I'm down for, dude.
That would be a really good social experiment. Doing it for science.
Right. It's not irresponsibility. Yeah. It's a social experiment. There's a difference.
Exactly. I'll get on Silk Road soon, and we'll talk some more. It's not really happening.
It could be.
Or is it? It could. Could happen. Could happen. I'm down to clown. This is the Jared Leto guy. Anyways, that's all the comments we have this week.
Thank you, everybody.
We've taken up so much time.
Hope you got a long graveyard shift. So we have a lot of content.
Yeah, if you're listening to this on iTunes or Google Play, because of how long it is, it's probably split up into 2 parts.
Really?
Because of the... Yeah, well, I can do a quick little plug for my affiliate link.
Sure, go ahead.
Quick little plug, because it's been a while, and this would help the podcast. But I use a nice little podcast place called Pinecast, P-I-N-E Cast. And it's $5 a month for the basic tier. Well, actually, the basic tier is completely free. You get 3 podcasts, unlimited episodes, And I think the only difference is that the file sizes have to be a little bit smaller than the $5 tier.
Yeah.
$5 tier is unlimited podcasts and unlimited episodes, and that episode size file goes up a little bit.
I feel you.
But it's pretty great, and then you can pay like $50 to get completely unlimited everything. Mm-hmm. But like $5 a month, and I have a little affiliate link in the description box below. If you want to use that, it's pretty easy. All you got to do is use the code. You'll get 40% off for the next 4 months. So good. It ends up being like $2.50 a month, and you help the podcast, you help the channel.
Everybody wins,
which is always nice. But yeah, so that's why if you see episodes in like 2 parts, it's because 3.5 hour file size, no matter how much you compress it as an MP3, it's still pretty big.
It's a biggie. It's a big boy.
Yeah. But either way, I hope you guys have enjoyed the podcast.
If you have any, a lot of fun.
Lots of values, lots of great questions answered, and lots of good stuff. I hope
we managed to outdo the original recording. I think this one's actually better.
I think we need to. So hear me out,
right?
Aden, hear me out.
Yeah.
I think we bring more value after we've already talked about stuff once.
Oh no! Oh no! No!
And
no! There's only so many hours of the day. I know what you're about to say.
And so we record. Thank you, everybody, so much for listening to this episode of.
Not even gonna tell them.
Another YouTube podcast. Awful idea. It's a great idea. So we record the same podcast twice in 1 week.
Mm. That
way we can cover all the bases, and then because the second time's always got to be better.
No, that's not true.
I was scared. I was like, I don't know how we're gonna talk about the same things we've already talked about. We're gonna leave things out. I'm gonna forget things. And we talked longer.
Right. And we got all the same stuff.
And we got all the same stuff plus more.
And it was better paced. Like, I thought the first
better
time
paced
was pretty good. The second time was actually one of our best episodes, I think.
Yeah, I think we even left in the same heroin joke, so that's great.
Drugs are cool, guys.
I think we left out a birth control joke. I remember that, but I don't remember how it worked. Right. So you guys will never know how that happened.
Sure. Something about Zach being pregnant or something I remember. I don't recall.
Yeah, I don't know. You write fan fiction about it. I'll read it on my other channel.
Right. Nice plug there. It's a good plug.
Either ways.
Anyway, it's in this monster. Ugh.
I've been Zach.
And I've been Aiden.
And thank you for listening to this episode of another YouTube podcast.
Bye.